This fall, Bill Cosby returns to television with something new. Own unique style.
You gonna be in there long?
Norton Furniture is here for you. Now, seriously, if you can't get credit in my store, you can't get credit anywhere. My name is Mark, and you can count on it.
540, join.
Join the fun. All have some.
Blow it up now, give it a whack. Turn up the fun with Balzac. Hit it.
Hello. I am sorry, but I must
31
interrupt this
Grammy.
show.
Later, you know what it is. Hey, ham solo. It's time, baby. Low. Let's turn how we do. Hey.
They said we said we hit. They said we said we on. They said we said we strong. They said we said we gone. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we said we in. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said we gone. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you
Man, I swear that it's imminent. I've been going so hard on my penmanship. About to go in and buy me a whip. And I pull that shit fresh off the dealership. I can leave you on red like an Xbox. Got me laughing at you like you red fox. Got you chasing Hot Wheels like a matchbox. EA running the game and it don't stop. Super cold like I'm playing for Blizzard. Cut you all in my sights like Red Dead Redemption. Never gonna slip on my pimpin'. Better get out my way, bitch, I'm on a mission. Really ain't no competition. I'm steady grilling opposition. I'm get up and ready to win. They can play it how they play, but fuck what you say. I'm getting this money today.
Last of us like a dying breed. Down the ride like a noble steed. Fatality moves, I make it bleed. That's on any game, that's on any screen. Shut up and give me your money. They said we so lit. Even if I take an L, we coming back just to show that we don't quit. They said we said we hit. They said we said we on. They said we said we strong. They said we said we gone. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we said we in. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said gone. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right.
Yeah, I can, yeah. I can. Well, I can hear you. It, it says you're offline. Let me see on YouTube. Yeah, we can hear you. No, but like you show. Yeah. Oh no, no, we can't see you. You're not on the panel. Yeah. What's up, guys? Who's on the chat? Blind Giant, welcome. Fuzzy, it's been a minute. Ron Slasher, Mr. Talks, you good? I'm not sure why I can't see you, but like, yeah, I can hear you at least. No. Yeah. Oh snap! So everybody says they can only hear me.
Is my audio coming through now?
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah. Now you're showing online.
God. Oh my goodness. All right. For anyone that wasn't listening, welcome into another episode of Everything Plus
But like
Gaming. Evmax done screwed up my freaking
now,
intro.
now you need to sort out
Anyways,
Taye.
anyways.
Taye is still not online, and
All
like
right, all right. I'll sort it out. I'll sort it out. Point is, everyone. I wanted us to talk about other stuff, right? I wanted us to talk about the actual news and like a whole bunch of other stuff. But here we are, right? We are now being forced to talk about Helldivers. But before we get into Helldivers, uh, Oshis, how are you and what you've been playing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Dude, yo, I've been playing so many things. So the last 2 weeks, it's like, well, the last month, dude, it's just been Stellar Blade. Really loving that game.
Stellar
It's
Chief.
my, even though it doesn't qualify,
Uh,
it's my game of the year. I would have nominated it, and it would have won last year if I was.
No, this is not the Keeleys. No, 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 no. We have integrity. We have integrity on
Okay, so
TSWS.
so when Death
You are
Stranding
going to
wins,
have
it's
to
gonna be
pick.
integrity, ne?
You're going to have to pick a game, an actual game that came out in the year of our Lord 2025 as a game of the year. We don't mess around on TSWS. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but
Aside from
that's the
Stellar,
game of the year so far. Then you can
oh, you want my game of the year so far that came out? Well, you mean like new
and then
games?
continue it. Then you can continue the intro.
Yeah, but I mean, I think then that would be
What?
Doom, the Dark Ages, because that came out this year most.
Weren't you shitting on it though? I
No,
remember you shitting on it.
no, no, dude. I remember explicitly. I first
Oh,
decided
okay.
my game of the year was Expedition. Then after I played Doom: The Dark Ages, I said that was my game of the year. So those games were the first half of the year, were like, or the first quarter of the year, really had my attention. Besides like Stellar Blade in terms of what I'm playing, I also recently bought in the summer sale. I bought Space Marine 2. Freaking epic, 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 epic. So I'm really enjoying that. I love the contrast between Stellar Blade and Space Marine 2. So for me, it's so indicative of the two different sort of mindsets. You know, in the future, in the West, they have these buff Space Marine priests, versus in the East, they have these super sexy um, fembots that are like the
It's
soul.
deeper. It's deeper. It's deeper actually. It's deeper actually. In the West, they not only have these buff guys, but they also embrace humanity.
Mm,
Whereas in the
true,
East, they
true.
embrace technology in the far future. Whereas in the West, in the far future, that we humans actually reject technology. It's a very interesting like
It is.
duality that you present there.
It is. It is. I'm gonna do something about
Yeah.
that. Like I love that dynamic. I was actually thinking about it when I was playing Space Marine. Just back to back with Stellar Blade. I'm like, wow, there's a good concept here for something.
Mm. All right. Give us a video sometime. We'd like to watch that.
But I wanna.
Ty, welcome in. Oshus, you're saying?
Oh,
No,
sorry
no.
about that. I was on mute. My bad.
No, I was saying, I wanna do those music things. I don't know if anyone still does that. Like, you have like video playing, and then you do like a little music video thingy, and you tell like a mini. 2 minute story.
For Stellar
So
Blade or
for both, like a combination of both type of thing.
no? But what do you mean, like a backdrop of Stellar Blade fighting and music in the
Yeah.
background, kind of like in what's it called, AMD videos?
Yes, but for Stellar Blade slash Warhammer. So Space Marines.
Oh,
and-
mixing
and-
together.
yes,
Oh, okay, okay,
those are quicker. Those should be quicker to make.
yeah, sounds fun.
Mm.
Should be. Ty, welcome in. How you doing? What you been playing?
Hey, first of all, long time no talk. It's good to hear from you again. In terms of
Yeah,
what I've been playing,
sure,
I've
sure.
been playing The Alters, an amazing game by 11-Bit Studios. These are the guys who made This War Is Mine. And if you know the premise, you're trapped on an island and you've had to clone yourself from different timelines to survive. So there's an engineer, there's a doctor, and I think what's really interesting about it is that maybe there's a time where so you're in school and in one timeline you decide to not do the PhD and just go get a job in a corporate company, but in the other timeline you decide to do the PhD, and that PhD guy becomes the doctor. And because he's around different people, his personality has changed. He's a lot more focused on work. He's a hard worker, doesn't like play. But the guy who went to the corporate side of things, he ends up getting married, etc., etc., and he has different skill sets. So you have to use those different skill sets to survive on the planet and find a way back to Earth. Um, it's a resource management game, and I don't like those games in any way, shape, or form. But this game does a great job at it. I'm guessing it's not too difficult. Like it's not hard, so it's not probably like the most intense resource management game. But it does enough, and the story is interesting enough to kind of push you through. And I found myself actually enjoying the resource and managing part of things. So yeah, I'm having a good time playing that game, and that's the only thing I'm playing right now.
All right, all right. Good stuff.
What
Good
are you
stuff.
playing?
Uh, oh man. So the alters. First off, I want to add an extra commentary. I remember the first time we saw like a deep dive for that one. I definitely put it in my backlog. I'm interested to play it eventually. But as you all know, the backlog is undefeated. It is literally undefeated. It's like Father Time. So I haven't gotten it. I haven't gotten to it yet. Um, I actually finished finally Fire Emblem Three Houses because I didn't have internet for a while. All of this stuff with moving provinces and all this other stuff. I had no internet. So I had Fire Emblem there. I was like, you know what? Let me just go right through it, and I beat it. I beat the first campaign. I am not going to spoil it for anyone because it is a timeless game in my opinion. It tells you there's one campaign. When you finish it, at least this is how I felt. When I finished it, I was sure. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm going to have to beat this at least two more times. But obviously, because it's a JRPG, and if you're going to play a JRPG properly, we're talking 60 hours per playthrough. And I was like, all right, uh, 60 hours next year, So I'll play it. I'll play the second campaign next year, and then the third campaign the year after. No way I'm uninstalling that game. It is pure cinema, in my opinion. It doesn't take long to get going. There's a couple of cliche stuff, obviously, right? But it's still a very, very, very good game. That's all I played actually. This whole time, the last 3 weeks, if I wasn't dealing with moving or switching up my career, which is what I'm working on right now, I was playing um, Fire Emblem Three Houses. Very good.
Here's a
I didn't
question.
get the hype tie.
Do you
I know
think
you're Super Nintendo guy.
no, Fire Emblem is a dope game, but
What?
but the question I got for you is like, did you find that not having the internet and just being able to just play a game and just take it for what it is without talking to people about it, getting people's opinions, and just being detached from, I guess, to some extent from Twitter, did you find that more enjoyable?
No, no. Because for me, right? Like I've said this 20 times now, but I'm a weird gamer. I played Metal Gear when it wasn't cool in school. I was a football manager guy when people were like, "That's not even a game." When I was a kid, so I've never interacted with social media gaming wise, and with like the intention to gain validation from others. No offense to everyone in the chat, no offense, but literally, I do not press buttons on these plastic things that we call controllers, so other people can be like, "Ooh, you are a better person for having pressed the buttons in this specific order or for this specific game." I've never functioned that way. I think it's a bit late for me to turn into that person. So yeah, it didn't change anything for me. The only thing that did change is that I didn't like go and post about what I saw as it happened. If you notice, even if you go and check like my Twitter stuff, I usually post and dip. I don't usually post and then go back and forth with everyone for like hours and hours and hours on end. I'll jump on Twitter. I'll like throw up whatever it is that's in my metaphorical gut, and then I'm out. That's what I usually do. So no, it didn't change anything. It didn't change anything. But yeah, let's get to everyone else here in the chat. Blind Giant, mahalo, mahalo. Thank you for coming in nice and early. Fuzzy Tomato, appreciate you. Stanley Francois. Ron Slasher says ponies are quiet today, especially after yesterday. What are you talking about, Ron Slasher? Ponies aren't quiet. I'm here. I'm right here. What do you have to say, Ron Slasher? I'm right here. Bring it. Bring it. Says ponies are crying about hell. No, no, ponies are not crying. Who else is in here? Seawolf, welcome in. Seawolf, stop coping. He says PlayStation is throwing Xbox a bone. All right, sure, bud. Raichi, welcome in. Says the game of the year is Baby Steps. Oh, you know what? No, no, it's not Baby Steps. Not even like you're not even trying. You're not even trying to bait me. Come on, you can do better than that, Raichi. Who else rocked up in her? All right, I guess everyone else is lurking. All right. Before we get into Helldivers, Ty, Seawolf, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Ty, is Xbox dead?
No, no way. Far from it.
So this is about the layoffs and the game cancellations and all of that. Go ahead. Tell us why Xbox is not dead. Give us more context. Come on.
Xbox isn't dead because Xbox has found a way to cheat death in a way. When people try to make the analogy to
Oh,
Sega, it's just not comparable in any way, shape, or form. When Sega bought out the industry, they weren't making money. That was it. Like they were done. They were finished. They only sold, I think, 9 million Dreamcast consoles. Whereas Xbox has 30 something million consoles out there. Not only do they have 30 something million consoles, they also have a PC storefront that I know it's 5 plus million, or is it 10 million, 15, 15 million plus users, 10 million plus users, whatever it is. So they have that as well as a foundation. So in terms of actual people in the Xbox ecosystem, using Xbox to buy third party games, Game Pass, etc., it's probably in the 40 million player, probably maybe 35 to let's say 50 million, right? If you want to include the Xbox One users there, it could even go up to 60. So there's a player base there. I think
yeah,
when
yeah.
people like to look at the Xbox Series X and S and say, well, that isn't doing well. But even if you're going to do that, you must remember that back in those days with the N64 and with the Sega Dreamcast, the monetary value you got out of one person was limited. Now you got Fortnite, you got microtransactions, you got DLCs. People are buying way more games than before. So you're actually making a lot of money. That's why whenever people say, well, Xbox is dead, and then you look at the revenue, it's actually going up, even though the consoles are going down. Which means that it's all about putting your games everywhere. That is how you make the most money, which is also why Sony has decided to put the games on PC and Helldivers 2 is coming to Xbox. Xbox is far from dead. And I think what they've managed to do here is they've managed to open up the space and say, hey, listen, from a console point of view, we can't really compete. And the truth is, this place ain't going anywhere. No one's gonna buy an Xbox to play Indiana Jones. No one's gonna buy an Xbox to play Starfield. No one's gonna buy an Xbox to play Avowed. So we need to go to where the
Damn.
players are, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to the players. They're following the same model as Steam, same model as Netflix, and all these other guys. So as long as the Xbox application exists, Xbox will never die. It doesn't matter how they started. You can make an argument that the console will die, but even at that, they've done a really good job at saying, hey, listen, we're going to make more consoles. And guess what? We're going to make OEMs where we're going to get, Samsung, we're going to get Lenovo, these guys to make consoles, and they're going to have our software in it. So if the software is there, and if it plays like an Xbox, looks like an Xbox, then how can they be dead?
All right. That little rant was brought to you, ladies and gentlemen, by Microsoft Gaming. Thank you, Tai. We do appreciate you shilling so much for Xbox. Thank you. Have a seat.
Good.
Have a seat and drink some water. Okay, Tai? Oshus,
Now it's time
is
for
Xbox
for
dead?
for the
Tell us.
left wingers to come and complain. Go ahead.
Is Xbox dead?
And why?
So it depends, like what you want from Xbox. If you're a guy that sort of like was following Xbox because, like, let's say you came from the 360 era and you were expecting Xbox to compete in the console race like Nintendo and say Sony, then in that respect, where we are now, I think it's safe to say that, yeah, we can call it curtains. That's not going to happen, despite what they've promised in the past in terms of like, if we go back to 2016, where they sort of said, well, we're committed to making exclusives for Xbox. We're committed to making the best hardware, which they did. Fair enough, to their credit. They made, like, if I look at the Xbox One X, brilliant hardware. Xbox Series X and S, both brilliant. Just both, all three of those consoles were poorly supported, in my opinion. So if you're a guy that cares about, like, for instance, traditional console hardware in your living room, games that ship on CDs and you get the full game, exclusive experiences that you can only play on that platform, and maybe PC as an extension, then yes, in that respect, that's gone. You're not going to get that again. If you're still hoping for some remote sort of like semblance of that, it's not going to happen. So going forward, as like what Microsoft is trying to do, yes, that's definitely alive because they're the most powerful publisher in the world right now. So you're still going to, and what they're pushing now is they must, as Taya mentioned, they're trying to move in on Steam. I don't know how well that's going to go for them. But yeah, they're trying to move in on Steam. They're trying to double down on the app. They're trying to sort of like go the OME model where they're gonna get other people to sort of like support their hardware endeavors, and everything is just an app that launches. In that respect, if that's what you want from Xbox, yeah, then yeah, the Xbox is alive and well, and they will continue to make the most popular IPs that are selling well. That is what they committed to, if I understand what Phil is saying. But you can forget, like, that's another thing that I noticed is that all the titles that were associated with Xbox, a lot of those are going to fall away. And they're going to fall away at the virtue of, well, how well did this game sell? Phil has been saying for the last 6 months that, which is what he reiterated in his firing letter, is he reiterated the fact that we are going to make the franchises that are strong stronger and basically weed out all the ones that are not useful to us. And interestingly, a lot of former Activision or Activision executives that were on Activision's board, Like a lot of those guys went over to Microsoft's board whenever, or they were absorbed into Microsoft. And if I look at the tactics and how Xbox is operating, they are more Activision than they are Xbox. They are doing exactly what Activision did, trimming out all the fat from all the things that they don't need, like Perfect Dark, all these like hippie games, all these like core games that they're not gonna sell or they're not gonna move any significant numbers. They're getting rid of all of that. If you care about that, you're not gonna get any more of that. What they're gonna focus on is you're gonna get more Call of Duty, you're gonna get more anything that's doing well. So you'll probably get more Sea of Thieves, more Forza, if I don't know about Gears because Gears is not a very big seller. If Halo does well, you'll get more Halo. So I'm just saying, if you're a guy that was attached to any like first party Xbox game, I would be a little bit worried about you. So if I was you, because I don't even think you're gonna get Fable. Like, if I look at where they're going, Fable is not something
That's
that
not
is.
a fast stretch. I
Sorry.
would have interrupted you. I would have told you you're capping, but that's not a stretch.
Well, that's what they said in that
That's not a
Sorry,
statement.
stretch
wait.
at all.
Excuse me. That's not a stretch.
Yeah, that Fable's not coming.
That's an insane take.
So will so you'll
Okay,
get.
let me
Let me
before
just
Ushers
conclude.
defends his point.
No, I'm not going to defend
Okay,
it. I just
okay, go
want to
ahead,
conclude what I
Ushers.
was saying, and then Ty can go in. So, like, my thing is that none of that is important to Microsoft anymore. None of that means anything to Microsoft anymore. What means anything now is all the games, and he's been saying this. Minecraft, every IP that is making bank, those IPs will survive. Anything else is fact. And if you are anything else, then I would be concerned if I was you. So that's my take. So like, yeah, care about like the big selling games, the games that sell ridiculous numbers, that have huge live MAU player counts. Those are the games that are going to survive in Xbox's future. Those are the games that Xbox is going to promote going forward.
No, they have 40 games in development,
Okay.
so I just don't buy that. It's not so like, you can't have.
PlayStation had 12 multiplayer games in development, Ty.
Yeah,
PlayStation had 12, bro. Just
yeah, and
because you've got a whole bunch of bullets doesn't mean there aren't a whole bunch of blanks mixed in with the real ones.
but here's the truth of the situation. Yeah,
Like for
you
me
can make a
personally,
AAA
I'm done.
blockbuster.
I'm done. Okay, go ahead.
You can make a AAA blockbuster game, right? And you could put 400 people on it, and you can cost 300 million, but you're still gonna get your clear obscure games that cost minimum team employee count, that cost small amounts of money to make, and
Yeah.
those games are gonna blow up. Microsoft knows this, and they also have Game Pass. And if they still are committed to Game Pass, you can't be relying on just Minecraft and these big games. You need the smaller games to pad it out, which is true. So no, I don't buy this. I don't see how we can come to this kind of conclusion. When people look at the games that they've cancelled or whatever it is, the truth is these games weren't even. We want to talk about creative games. Okay, if we want to talk about them, yeah. Like, I'm sorry, you can't be making an Everwild game for 10 years. That's just impossible. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's not financially viable. You can't be
Not
making,
even 7 years,
yeah,
bro.
10 years.
Not even.
What the game was cancelled. Like, people don't know that, but Redfall was in development for like 6 years as well. Like, we can't judge Xbox canceling games that were in the 7 year development plus cycle, and then we look at them. Okay, like, what about Double Fine's game? The the lighter game or whatever it's called. How come that didn't get cancelled? How come that's dropping? It's dropping because it's finished. They're like, yeah, okay, cool, good job, guys. Compulsion Games dropped their game. Good job, guys.
No,
Hellblade 2 dropped their
no
game. Good
time.
job, guys.
No time. Time.
What's up?
No. Listen. The same way Xbox is responsible for the games that came out, Xbox is responsible for the games that were mismanaged.
100%.
We can't go in one direction only.
No, I agree 100%.
So for me, going back to Oshin's point, okay.
No, I agree 100%. Yeah, but I think there's two ways to this discussion, and I find it very difficult because I've been chatting with people about this, and they just have this very defeatish attitude. Xbox takes all the blame because they didn't manage the studios. However, if you want any of these studios now, you need to understand that you need to perform. And this is something that we all actually wanted. We wanted more accountability because the truth is, the
Yes.
idea that you're making a game for 10 years, sorry, you're gone. You're finished. 7+ years, nothing to show for it. You're gone. You're finished. This is, and I'm talking to a guy who's a PlayStation guy, and he's upset about these games being cancelled. And I'm like, yeah, but like, would Sony accept this or Nintendo? And the answer is no. So why does Xbox have to accept this bullshit? No. Cancel these projects, like, and just move on to something else. I expect better quality. And here's the thing, yeah, maybe some of these games could have been okay, but the question is, if it takes you 8 years or 10 years to make the game, and you drop the game isn't financially viable anymore. Now it's a flop. It's a financial flop now. So do you release the game?
Yes.
That's an average game that is costing you millions, or do you say let's cut our losses right now? Let's not release this average ass game that which then hurts our image. You cancel it, right? Is the reason why Sony canceled Concord? They're like, no, this
Yeah.
is garbage. Let's just bin it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want them to be like this. We want them to be
Yeah.
ruthless because the more ruthless they are, the better games we get. But the thing is, they didn't like. If we're gonna say like, hey, they don't care about smaller games anymore, then why is Hollow Knight coming on Game Pass? That's a small game, right? It's just a small creative game. Why did they get
Yeah.
Balatro?
Okay, but that's another discussion.
Mhm.
Tai, that's another discussion. We're moving away from what Osher said, and then we need to get into the news. What
Sure.
Osher says is that it's not crazy to say that Fable's not coming, and I agree with his rationale, and I'll add a little bit of salt as well by saying two things. One, past performance informs future results, and all these games that got cancelled, they follow the exact trajectory of Fable. Long development cycles, no actual proper gameplay, and these vertical slices. And because of what happened with Concord, and I would even, to a lesser degree, I would argue Halo, I think even the guys at Xbox know that there's more damage to be done to the Fable legacy and brand that's still holding strong, even though the last game was, I think, the 360. It's still holding strong. But if they put out a dud, it's going to do more damage than them saying we're canceling this game. Fable is coming out in 2030. That's all I'm saying. What? Fable probably isn't coming anytime soon.
Okay, you know what? Let me walk back a little
Because
bit. It's not a crazy thing to say,
okay,
right? It's not. Let me not be extreme.
okay,
It's not insane. However, if I'm a betting man, it's coming out. Perfect Dark in the initiative, they've had problems for
before
years.
2020 what? It's coming out in before 2020 what? Since you're a betting man.
It's coming out next year.
Okay, I will be pleasantly shocked if it comes out next year.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I think it's
Cautious,
coming out next year for sure.
cautious. If you could put money on it, how much? How would you think it's coming out next year? If not, when do you think it's coming out? You know what? I feel like I should start a
Um,
website. I'm gonna look into it. I feel like I should start a website and people start fucking betting or like odds of when a game's gonna come out,
um,
and maybe even
so
betting on what the Metacritic score is gonna be.
so the whole 40 games thing that are coming out, the games that were shown at the showcase, uh, Fable wasn't there.
Fable
That's like,
specifically,
yeah,
Ushers. Fable specifically. Otherwise, we're
yeah.
not gonna get into the news, bro. If you make
No,
this
but
too
I'm saying,
large, we can't get into the news. The chat's gonna keep chewing me out.
okay. So I don't think it's coming out.
Fable only.
Yeah,
All right.
Fable. I I don't think it's coming out. That's my prognosis on that.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm a betting man, I don't think Fable's coming out. All right. So some interesting discussions going on here in the chat. Seawolf says that Fable's not a game worth talking about. Big Mad Mo says something that I said yesterday as well when everyone was doomy and gloomy about Xbox. He says the best news for me is my Game Pass library is growing. Guys, if you're here for video games, right? If you're on Xbox just to play video games, like if you don't care about first party, third party, second party, all these parties, Diddy parties, everything, right? If you just want to play video games, my guy, get Game Pass and forget about it. Forget about it. Anyways, let's get to the news. The news is Helldivers 2 is going to PS in August. Coincidentally, the same day that Gears of War is going to PlayStation. Taya, what are your thoughts on Helldivers 2 jumping over the fence?
I think this is great. And it kind of, shoots in the face of people who said, well, Xbox is too small of a platform. Why would anybody bother, right? Because the argument has been like, well, it's okay for Japanese developers to avoid Xbox and everyone to avoid Xbox because, it doesn't make sense. No one buys games. But then when you have their biggest rival, the rival who wants them dead, the rival who by any means will not put any game on their platform to help them, succeed in any way, they're putting their game on their platform, which kind of flies in the face of all these statements, right? The truth is, I don't think
Now that you
exclusive.
mention it,
Mhm.
now that you mention it, Ty, now
What's
that
up?
you mention it, uh, there's something here that Mr. Colin Moriarty
Mhm.
said that speaks to what you're saying right now. He says the Helldivers 2 to Xbox rumor begs a question: what could PlayStation possibly gain by selling in an ecosystem with cratering hardware sales and an audience that buys few games? Why throw a lifeline to a struggling competitor? Why create PR and marketing issues for low revenue? As you can see, the date is May 1st, 2024. We can call it the receipting, right? Because then Hazardor Gaming replies, looks like PlayStation certainly did care about third place, small player based platform that supposedly buys no games. You won't accept once again you were wrong, but hey, it's all right. You do you, Colin. Go ahead, Ty.
No,
Finish your
this is all
point.
true. I think people online and these hardcore fans, they tend to have this idea that the war revolves around them. And the only thing that matters here is money. The reason why Sony has done this is because it doesn't even matter if Xbox is the one who's pushing it, that was asking them, that said, okay, we'll give you 90% of the profit, whatever it may be. The fact that Sony was willing to do it is enough. And as soon as you started seeing them put the games on PC, it became very clear to them that, okay, yeah, we can actually do this. Don't be surprised. Like, listen, um, Death Stranding showed up on Xbox, PC Game Pass. And that was Sony's first rodeo. Actually, no, the first rodeo was MLB The Show. MLB The Show came on Xbox and came on PC, came on Game Pass.
Mm.
And they probably got enough data to say,
And then we move the goalpost.
yeah, but see, they got enough data to say, you know what, we're not actually losing console sales from this game being on Xbox. In fact, we're actually making money. Then the next
Yeah,
one was, Death
yeah,
Stranding. And they probably thought, you know what, we didn't actually lose many people, PlayStation fans not coming, going to Xbox, or Xbox fans coming to, we're actually making money off this. So then the next one became, Helldivers 2. Don't be surprised in the future when you start to see Sony maybe port the God of War collection to the Switch 2. They start to port all these older games to test the waters. The only reason why Xbox has done it first is because they were in a losing position. But at some point, expect to see more
yeah.
PlayStation games on Xbox. 100%. 100%. There's also
Okay.
something else that's actually interesting,
Okay.
right?
So you don't feel
For the next Xbox console, which is going to be a PC, um, there's a chance that Sony. It depends what Sony does or how they want to attack this or go at this. But if they just concede, they're like, okay, we can't do anything about this. It's a PC. You know, they've kind of checkmate us in this particular way that we can fight, and we still want to put our games on Steam to make money. And at the end of the day, we're actually making money off this. If this hybrid console sells and it's an Xbox hybrid console, and Xbox users can purchase PlayStation games from Steam via this console, does it not make sense for Sony to say, seeing as Ushers is going to buy this game from this next gen Xbox with Steam, our Spider Man 3, what if we just put it on Xbox?
yeah.
And because Xbox has a
Oh,
very they do 80%, so they do 88%. So Sony gets 88% of the revenue if you buy it on the Windows Store,
Steam does
whereas
70%. Steam does 70. You're
as
right.
Steam does
You're
70.
right.
So Sony's probably thinking the only reason why we're putting games
Ooh.
on PC is to make money in the first place. So let's make more money by putting on
So
this
why not
Xbox
make more
console.
money?
Exactly. Seeing as they're gonna get it anyway, might as well, right?
Oh my goodness. That is messy. That is messy. Who said it? Was it? I don't know if it was Ono Alex or Asmongold. They said, of course, Sony is going to put their games everywhere because zero times 0% of 100 of $60 is still 0%. So you want to get that fan base, even if only 5,000 people on Xbox are going to buy Helldivers. That's still 5,000 times $60 minus 80%. Sorry, 20%. That it's still not $0. Osha's thoughts on Helldivers going to PlayStation? Sorry, going to
Yeah, man,
Xbox.
that's awesome. That's an awesome thing, man. Like, I mean, Helldivers have been looking for that to happen for a long time. Like, the community of Helldivers is mostly on PC, and they understand that, like, when it comes to multiplayer games, it's better to have Xbox players on your side than PlayStation players, unfortunately. So yeah, this is
All
great. This
right,
is
all
awesome.
right. No, there's no
You
need to
guys
get
suck.
messy. All right, there's no need to get
You
messy.
guys suck at multiplayer games. Like, so it's unfortunate.
Fuck off.
So,
You guys,
so I think this is
listen,
great.
listen. Single player games are better than multiplayer games. I will die on this hill. But go
Okay.
ahead.
But yeah, so I think this is great. This is great for the community for Helldivers, and I hope actually that I'm glad that it didn't do something stupid like launch on Game Pass, and I hope it actually moves or does the numbers. And actually, holding fingers that I hope it does better numbers than it did on PlayStation. That would be so satisfying.
Why would it
Um,
be stupid because it launched on Game Pass?
it will be
Oh
stupid
my
because
goodness. That's messy.
it would be stupid because of the fact that like then we can't measure whether it's sold or not. It would just by the virtue of it being on Game Pass, everybody will say, well, it did well because it was on Game Pass. But if it actually sells at the current price point, then it's a proper own. Then it's a proper like, well, look at this. This game actually kicked ass on Xbox, even though it didn't release on Game Pass. Imagine that. So I think it would be a huge W for Helldivers, a franchise that I strongly support. Unfortunately, I've not gotten to play it on Steam, but I did. A friend of mine actually gifted it to me. Shout out to Rich Gang. But yeah, man, like I think that it's all good. It's all positive. I don't see any downsides to that.
Yeah. For me, I kind of don't really care because I've always liked the aesthetic of Helldivers. I've never liked the game. Um, I did play it for a bit, quickly jumped off, just like bro. I turned on the PS5, I installed Helldivers, I played it for maybe 2 hours, uninstalled that bad boy, and kept it pushing. No rag rats. All right? I don't care at all. What really made me the PlayStation people coping talking about, oh, is it really first party? Some people are now like getting receipts pulled on them because they're saying no, maybe it's not. Maybe Helldive is not a proper first party game and all this other stuff. It is, you know, it actually is a first party game. Just cope, seethe, and mold. It is what it is, and going in that direction. Dear Easy, welcome. It says, great. The Xbox haters back. Tomato, tomato, tomato. That one's for you, Ashes. That was for you, brother. So Puerto Rock, a known PlayStation pony, one of my buddies. I like him. He said, "I'ma help the ponies out. Do not compare Helldivers 2 with MLB and Marathon. Don't do it. MLB, the show, and Marathon are on Xbox because of obligations. They had to go. MLB had to go due to MLB requirements to retain the license, and Marathon and all future new games had to go as part of the acquisition agreement of Bungie remaking multiplat developer. Helldivers 2 had no such obligation. None. At this point, stand by for a single player game to go to Xbox." Ty, are we going to see? Are we going to see God of War? Are we going to see God of War on Xbox?
This
Is
is
this what's
a
going to happen?
there's so many ways this can go, right? And even the idea of the causation is interesting because you can make a very strong argument that the reason why Sony's doing this is because they don't see Xbox as a threat anymore. They're pulling all the games on their platform, and Xbox is a dying brand, if you want to say that, or weak brand. So Sony's like, yeah, it doesn't matter if we drop our games there. Like, so yeah, let's put God of War there as well. Eventually, let's do timed exclusive deals. So that could be a strong argument. The flip side of that is you could actually say if Xbox was stronger, you would actually see more games transfer even faster because that's an audience that Sony doesn't have access to, and they want access to that audience. But regardless, I think the end result is the same. Yes, you will see a single player game go at some point. The question is when and what kind of single player game would it be? I think it makes sense for Sony um, to start to port the older stuff.
No, I
Like
want you to predict. No, 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 no. I
predict.
want you to predict. Ty, I want people to clip you. I want people to clip you out of context and make fun of you like 6 months from now when it doesn't happen. When are we going to see God of War, The Last of Us, Ratchet and Clank on PlayStation, or something like that on PlayStation? Ghost of Tsushima on Xbox. Oh my God! If Ghost of Tsushima goes to Xbox,
Honestly, I can't say.
Jesus.
I haven't thought about
When?
it too well, and I don't know. I couldn't even give you a timeline, to be honest.
Oh my goodness. Well, let it be known in all of these Twitter and podcasting streets, Ty has no nuts. Like none, not even half a nut, not even a quarter of a nut. Oshus, do you think,
Yo,
like Puerto Rock is saying here on the screen, do you think that first party single player Sony games are about to make their way to Xbox? And if they are, when?
well, well. First of all,
In your opinion, obviously.
let's just get a couple of things clear. There are no single player first party PlayStation games, unless I'm missing something. Are
What?
they?
There are no single player first party. What are you
Yes.
talking about? God
Name
of War
one.
is single player and it is first
No, I
party.
mean like in the last
God of
two
War
years.
is first.
Oh, you mean like old games? All right.
Oh come! Oh my God, dude, stop it! I
So
saw.
listen,
You know what? I
listen.
saw Seawolf say some rubbish. Seawolf, you're my brother, but I saw you say some rubbish maybe 30 minutes ago when you said that. I don't know. Someone said that when I play a game and it was an old game, and you were like, "Oh, it's old, bro." And
So
are we
listen.
talking about fruits here? Is this a food? Is this a food court? Is this a food podcast? What's happening? Video games do not rot, my guy.
All right.
Literally, they do not rot.
Do you know
Let's
who I
stop
think
with
is?
this goalpost moving on shit.
Do you know
Stop
who I
it.
think is coming? Well, my point is like, I don't see anything day and date, and Sony doesn't have anything day and date coming anytime soon, anyway.
Oh my god,
So
dude, really? Really? Sony doesn't
anyway,
need to do anything. Dude,
why are you being
Richie
so
said in the
defensive?
chat, Sony could go 5 years. Because you're trying to shit on my precious PlayStation. The
Okay,
PlayStation
are
could
they
go 5 years. Richie said in the chat, they could go 5 years with zero first party games. They can swing that one, brother. They can go 5 years and
okay?
still people will be buying the consoles and people will make their platform the main console platform. Well, not the main one because the Nintendo it technically is the, you know what, the second best console, right? So stop it.
Okay,
Stop
so
it
I'll tell
with
you
all
which
this
game I
goalpost
think.
moving. When are these first party games going to Xbox, if you think they're going to
So
Xbox?
I can't speak for first party games. I don't think PlayStation will put their PlayStation Studios made games on Xbox. However, I do think games like Stellar Blade.
Bro, Helldivers
Hello,
is a PlayStation
no,
Studios
no, can I
game.
finish my point, Bob? Then you can like dispute it.
As soon as you stop capping, as soon as you stop capping, I'll let you finish.
This guy. So, but like I'm just saying, that's my opinion. I don't think they're gonna put. You're not gonna see God of War on Xbox. You're not gonna see Last of Us on Xbox. Spider Man. Dot 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 dot. Any games being made by PlayStation Studios. However, a game like Stellar Blade,
That is
I can
brave.
definitely see coming to Xbox. I can definitely see Silent Hill coming to Xbox. I can definitely see all these second party games that PlayStation has been putting out in the last 2 years or so. A lot of those games, those single player games, I don't think they'll mind putting them on Xbox. Just like they didn't mind having 505 put Dead Stranding. Oh yes, Dead Stranding 2 eventually is going to get to Xbox as well. So yeah, all the
Of
second
course,
party
it's not
games.
theirs.
Oh yes, and it's 2025, so we are also getting Forspoken. Yay!
Ew, ew. But yeah, Ushers, I disagree with you. I'm with Ty on this one. You know what, I'm shocked. I am shocked that you're so convinced that there's no way these games are gonna go to thingy to Xbox. That's wild. That is okay. That's impressive. See, Ty. You see how it's done? That's how it's done, Ty.
What do you mean?
That's how it's done. Pick a side, brother. Pick a side.
I think there's a few things here. There's people who from a fundamental level understand that the industry is changing, and that a lot of these boxes is just the OS, and they all want to move beyond the box. And I think these people understand that these changes are always going to occur. That's why, when Sony was putting games on PC, the PC guys were saying first, were like, oh, it's just going to be the old games. Okay, it's going to be the multiplayer games. Okay, it's going to be, really, it's not going to be Last of Us or the big games. It's going to be like the peripheral games, like
Yeah.
Horizon. And then it just kept, the post just keeps shifting and shifting and shifting. Because the truth is,
Yeah.
they all understand. And
It
here's the
became
thing: corporations, they're not feelings focused. They're very, very clear. Sean Layden, who everyone praises, right, on the PlayStation side, he literally said, "No, I want us to put games on PC." Yeah, yeah, that was my idea. So if like the people who these people want to like champion, they were talking about multi-platform a while ago. They asked Sean Layden, "Do you think they should put games on the Xbox?" His response was, I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze, which means he's saying that like if some way somehow it financially makes sense for us to do it, we'll do it. And guess what? It financially makes sense for Sony, so they did it. One of the Xbox guys did I think he gave a report some like a leak some time ago saying that like there were discussions about this and they couldn't come to an agreement because I think Sony wanted, to kind of they wanted maybe more they wanted Xbox to kind of cover the marketing, etc., something like this. Anyway, now I don't know it if Xbox is primarily the one funding this games coming over, or Sony has just kind of relented and said, you know what, this is a live service games. We're literally putting marathon on Xbox. Like, at what point doesn't make sense? Sony said it in the shareholder meeting that, like, yeah, third parties are moving. They're moving across to different platforms. Like, yeah, it makes sense for Sony to kind of do this as well. So I think there's people who understand this is happening, and there's people who don't understand this is happening. No, no, sorry, let me take that back. They don't want to understand this is happening. They like the idea of things staying the way they are. I've purchased this device, and this device can do this and only this. And you have to sell me this device so I can have access to just only this. But these people don't understand that, like, they're the same people who buy a PC and they're happy to buy games of Steam, the Xbox Store, Epic, and Ubisoft. So for some reason, they've given the
Yeah.
console or the TV a special privilege. It's like they're a slave to the console. Whereas as soon as they get into their desktop, they love the ecosystem of being free to do whatever the hell they want to do. But on console, no, I don't want that. It's like, but why? Why are you hurting yourself? I have
Yeah.
no idea.
Stop hitting yourself. Dude, as soon as I hopped on PC and then I started taking the time to not experiment in real time, but just listen to people and watch people experiment and do stuff with their PC, I was just like, wait, what?
Yo,
I can
listen,
do all of this?
Dorian's Gray is not here, but like he's always kind of said it that, like, it's a con that they've tricked you into thinking that a console that is closed off is the future. Um, it's not. And you
Yes.
could, if you could go back in time, would you want the PC to be closed off? Would you want it that, like, oh, I've bought this PC and I can only
No.
use Google on this PC. I can only use Epic on this PC. I can only use Steam on this PC. Like, you wouldn't want that. You would think that's a dumb idea. So the idea of the console is a dumb idea as well, from a consumer level, of course.
No, I don't think it's a dumb idea. I think that I don't think that it's a dumb idea. I think the console has a place, right? I think it has a place, but I think it's for casual gamers. I feel like core gamers, like not people that do this for a hobby, but people that take this pretty seriously. People like us, right? Like for us, putting down 30 hours in a week playing video games, that's not like a big commitment for us. You know what I mean? We're not even in the hobbyist phase. We've passed the phase of just being hobbyists. And I think for people that are like hardcore, okay, sorry for repeating. You can have PC, sorry, you can have a console, but I think a core gamer has a competent gaming PC, in my opinion. I think you just cannot just be only on console and you're a hardcore gamer. I think that's rare. Most of the people that I've seen that are like proper hardcore gamers, they have a PC to go along with their Switch, to go along with their PlayStation, to go along with their Xbox. I think only casuals are the ones that like main a console and that's it. Daisy, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Says, will Xbox die before or after? What's this? HB? What is HB2 release on Xbox? What's HB? Do you guys know what HB means?
Nope. What's HB?
Rizzy, what's HB2, bruv? All right, we'll wait to see. But going back to Taya's point earlier on, Derizi, Xbox will only die when Microsoft dies, and that's not going to be soon, brother. It's not going to be soon. It is what it is. Oh, you meant Helldivers, dude. Xbox dies every week, right? It dies every week.
Oh, HD. I thought you said
Uh,
HD.
PS5 is a casual gamer box. Sales prove that. Yeah, Dude, Blind Giant, PS5, yes, it is the casual gamer box, and it's not just sales of the console. It's the sales of what gets bought on the console. We go back to the Activision leaks or presentations, the official like stats that we got to see. It was like the top 10 games that it sold on Xbox on PlayStation for like the last 5 or 10 years, and there was not one single player, sorry, not single player, there was not one first party game in the top 10. It's like, okay, well, and what are the games? Are the Call of Duty, FIFA, Madden? It's like, oh, okay, that's what actually gets put. So yes, I agree with you, Blind Giant. It's definitely the casual box. Want to plug and play, not tinker and play. And that's the thing, Seawolf. I also used to think it was tinker and play. You don't have to tinker on PC. It's wild, brother. Seawolf, I don't know. I don't know if you have a PC. I don't know if you have a PC, but you know me, PlayStation and Xbox, and that was it for me. That was it for me. Because I also used to believe exactly what you're saying, that PC was the tinker box. And dude, literally, literally, you press power on the PC, it starts up, you put your code in, right, to get into your profile. Literally, I just have to press power on my controller. Immediately opens up the Steam OS in big picture mode. If you don't know what big picture mode, it's essentially the Steam platform, but it turns into like a PlayStation style layout, and then you're there, you're playing your games. Dude, PC is a console if you want it to be a console. PC is a rocket ship if you want it to be a rocket ship. PC is a Guna machine. It is whatever you want it to be. That's why I'm saying, like, the first time I sampled this, and then I realized that, dude, this is madness. You have everything at the tip of your fingertips. You can do whatever it is that you want to do with this machine. You can make it, you can turn the PC into your PlayStation. You can turn it into an Xbox. You can turn it into a Nintendo Switch. Sorry, excuse me. You can turn it into a PS3. You can turn it into whatever the fuck you want to turn it into. There's no amount of value that can surpass the PC in gaming, in my opinion. I'm just saying.
No, for sure.
PC can play GTA 6 next year. My brother, we're not here for just GTA 6. We're not here for just Death Stranding 2. We're here for gaming, brother.
No, but what's interesting here
See,
about the
Wolf,
GTA
we're here.
question is that
I,
because go
hold
on.
on, let me finish. Let me
Sorry.
finish. Ty, let me finish. See, Wolf, I'm not just trying to have a cake. I'm trying to have the entire bakery, brother. The whole thing, the whole shebang. I don't want parts and pieces of it. And what I'm saying is on PC, it's all there, brother. All of it. And this business of day one, not day one. Come on, bro. Do we not start off the show? Ty, Oshas, Ham, when he eventually sees this mental nine, almost every guest that we have on, everyone that we ever talk about, go to other podcasts. What's the one thing everyone's always agreeing on? The backlog is real, y'all. If you only have a PC and you want to play Death Stranding 2, odds are you have 20 games in your backlog and you own 10 of them. So, my brother, my sister in Kojima, go and play your games. Trust me, by the time you're done, Death Stranding 2 is on PC. And guess what's going to happen by then? There's other games. You won't have time for Death Stranding 2. And guess what? It's back on the pile just like everything else in the backlog. No, dude. You cannot convince me. PC is the master. I'm not going to finish the whole thing because Vincent Vega gets a bit sensitive about finishing the sentence. But PC, in my opinion, it's the master. What's this? I have a backlog too, but if a banger drops, I play it. Yeah, but exactly. And the whole banger thing, brother, the whole banger thing, in my opinion, it's opinion based, right? Because I love WRC. I love rally games. For me, those are bangers. Right now, I'm playing WRC. Which one? Hold on. Which one am I on? Seven. I'm on seven. There's 10. Thanks to Vincent Vega, I have all of them. So, excluding the one I'm playing, I still have four more WRCs to get into, which is at least 40 hours each. Those are bangers for me personally. Uh, dude, it's so much more than just, oh, you're going to have to wait a year for Death Stranding to. I'm sorry, man. It's so much more than that. Ty, was I spitting rubbish or do you agree?
No, I agree. I agree. This is the way. This is the way to go. I think most people, when they start playing on PC, they realize it is the way to go. The only reason why I play my console, is just because of the location. It's right there beside the couch, so I can relax and enjoy it. But if you, some way, somehow, with technology that we have, you turn my PC into an Xbox or something that looks and feels like an Xbox or even a PlayStation, whatever it is, then yeah, I'll replace I'll replace my Xbox Series X with this imposter of a system, whatever you want to call it. It is what it is. And I think what's going to be interesting here is that, when Xbox drops their next gen console, which is going to be around maybe 2027 or whatever it's going to be, because it's backward compatible, it'll probably be the only like place to be able to play GTA on some kind of PC system.
Yeah, yeah. As far as turning it into into a couch thingy, well, but after I get my camera set up, I'd like to show you guys my new office or my new gaming room. Essentially, I have turned the PC into my console. So I didn't know this. Oshis is going to laugh at me because he's been in the gaming in the PC gaming streets longer than me. But I was yesterday days old when I found out those ports behind your graphics card, it's not a bunch of HDMI ports. There's only one HDMI port. The rest are display ports. I did not know that. I
Yeah,
I got all
like
excited. I bought a bunch of HDMI cords because I have like two monitors plus the big screen in the gaming room. So I was like, I'm gonna connect all the HDMI cables to all the screens, and then I'm gonna be good. What ended up happening was that I had a whole bunch of HDMI cables, and none of them was going into the display ports. And I was trying to put them in. I was like, what's happening? It's not fitting. What's going on? Let me. And then I looked closely at, oh shit, the angles don't match. I had to do research and figure out, oh, okay, so those are display ports. There's only one actual HDMI port. But I did that, right? I went to buy the display port cable, connected it to the big screen, and I just open up a game, right? Drag it onto the big screen, and there's your console. Bob's your uncle.
Yeah,
You're done. It's wild.
yeah.
Thais, what was it? Big Man Bo says, "Look, you're good today. Oshis, you suck. Ty, you." Oh my God, Lakers still suck. Stop it. Listen, Mo, I thought me and you was gonna be friends today. Lakers do not suck, all right? Okay, you know what? Lakers are going to suck for this year, but as a franchise, we're the best in basketball. Oshis, was I talking crap when I was glazing PC gaming, or do you agree?
no, not at all. Like it's one of those things. Like yeah, once you get on the PC platform, it sort of changes. It does change your life. But like I mean, it's got its own like fair share of issues. I mean, if you are like a hardcore PC gamer, like yeah, there's a lot of shit that's happening right now. That's making PC gaming in its own way very uncertain. Hardware is getting increasingly expensive, especially graphics cards. So yeah, no, it's the best platform to game on. There's a lot of flexibility. Whether you're a tinkerer or not a tinkerer, you can configure what you want to configure. But yeah, it's also got its. There's a lot of elements in it that are like very predatory as well, and are getting worse by the day.
Like what?
Like graphics
Okay,
cards.
explain briefly.
So, like the biggest issue right now is Nvidia and the fact that if you follow any guys, like for instance, Gamers Nexus, Hardware Unboxed, all those dudes that like sort of like focus on graphics cards and you want to build a new PC, the value for your money is worse now than it was 5 years. Let's say, yeah, about maybe 5 years ago in terms of what you're getting in your
Hmm.
graphics cards. This is by far the 50 series is by far the worst offering that Nvidia has ever brought out. And the problem with Nvidia is that they literally have a monopoly on the market. If you look at the Steam hardware charts, they've got 9 out of 10 of the cards that are listed there. So yeah, so value as a customer is getting worse and worse in that respect. If you want to build new PCs and you don't want to go secondhand, um, yeah. So that is the main thing that's causing a lot of issues.
But I guess the
Uh,
good thing here is that you know, game the developers and publishers, they follow the technology, right? No one's gonna like, make a game that's the vast majority of people can't run. So everyone's still gonna be in a
so
good position.
that's
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
that's actually not true, eh? Because with what
Oh,
Nvidia and AMD are doing right now is they're still releasing graphics cards that are even weaker in terms of memory than what you get on your Xbox Series X and on your PlayStation 5. The biggest sort of controversy right now is Nvidia and AMD releasing 8 gigabytes cards, and you know they're still very very highly priced, and then they release them as the entry level cards. By entry level, I'm talking about like anything between $299 to about $499. So if you're an entry level gamer, most of the cards that are now in your price bracket are 8 gig cards. Now the issue is the more games like and this is what Cassie was complaining about. The more games like, for instance, Doom: The Dark Ages, and a lot of the new games coming out now, they are built around ray tracing because they use the Unreal Engine 5. And the problem with that is that ray tracing is notorious for destroying RAM. You can't run, for instance, a game like Indiana Jones on even medium settings, medium to high settings on an 8 gig card, depending, of course, on other factors. It just runs out of RAM and it crashes. And they're still releasing those cards in 2025. To give you just like some background, the first 8 gigabyte cards were released in 2014, 2015. So technology has
oh
advanced so
shit!
much. Yeah, but like I mean, technology has advanced so much
What?
that they need to be making almost all the cards minimum 12 gigabytes. The biggest issue I have now, because I have an older
But
card,
that's not
but
what they're doing.
no, they're not, because it's cheaper for them to sell you 120, a card that's 8 gigabytes, than to sell you a 16 gigabyte card at about below 499. So it's a real shit show right now when it comes to graphics cards. Go just Google like any of like the main guys that like talk about this. Even Digital Foundry talks about this as well, time
That's
to time.
interesting because I don't know, like I almost swear that like people were telling me that because Xbox is leaving the market, the console space is going to be bad, and everyone's going to go towards PC. And now you're telling me that like actually PC is having these problems now, with not being able to afford things or whatever it is. I almost feel like whenever like I've said this here before, like when some of these discussions happen, I don't get the full picture, and I only get the full picture days later or weeks later. So there are cons to going towards PC from a financial perspective.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, the thing is like, yeah, and there's like this big pushback. And the problem is game I don't understand why game developers are not pushing back again. I get it. Ray tracing makes, like, when you use ray tracing, it means that the engine comes with the lights, right? So you don't have to build the lights for yourself as a
Hmm.
developer. So that's very economical for you. It makes making games much faster. So traditionally, when you have to bake in lights, it could take months to years because you have to do it manually, right? So there's an incentive in using ray tracing, but the problem is that ray tracing is a huge resource hog. You need at least minimum 12 gig for most ray tracing games if you want to run them at anything higher than 1080p, especially. So the like it's a weird place that PC gaming is in terms of that whole dilemma that's going on right now. And I don't know, like I don't know how that's going to be resolved. The only way that can be resolved is if AMD and Intel stop making 8 gigabyte cards, because the games just cannot. If we're going to go forward and we're just going to use Unreal Engine 5 as the primary engine, there's no ways you're going to be able to run a game like The Witcher at like 1440p with ray tracing on, if it's a game just built around
Okay,
ray
so
tracing.
tell me this. Tell me this. And
Mhm.
like this is tell me what's wrong about my following strategy, because this is how I'm looking at my future in PC gaming, right?
Yep.
Rachie says race scamming ruined Doom, Dark Ages, Indiana Jones, and gaming as a whole. Okay. My view is that wow, Blind Giant's card has 20 gig. Okay. My
And
view is
proper
that
master
I
race.
have I have this complete. Sorry?
No, I said he's proper master race.
Yeah. I'm looking at it the way, like, I don't even know how many gigs my card has. Do you remember how many mine has?
He's 16 gig. So you sorted. So you can,
16.
yeah. I think if your card is, what is your card? Is a 7800 XT, ne?
Yeah, something like that. I'm not
If
I'm
it's a
not sure
7800
specifically.
XT, then it's a
Maybe I should
16
just
gig
check.
card. Or is it seven? I think it's
Okay.
7800.
Okay. Let's move on from that. What I want is specifics on strategy. Because on console, you're stuck in one specific strategy, which is you own the PS5. When the PS6 comes out, you better sell the PS5 and buy the PS6. That's the strategy, right?
Yeah.
And for us, because of where we live, we don't pay $500 MSRP. You
No.
pay more. You pay maybe $600-700 or $800 in South Africa. I pay about 1,000 to 1,500 or 2,000, because the PS5 was about 2,300 in Mozambique day one, and then it plateaued at $2,000 like permanently, right? Xbox started at about 1,500. Then people got addicted to Game Pass. Suddenly, the Xbox Series X went up to 2,000 in Mozambique as well. So my strategy with PC is I have this setup, right? All I'm gonna do is keep gaming until I start seeing problems, because I play every single game at like max settings. Every game that I can find, I play at max settings, right? And then whichever game cannot run the max setting that I want to play at, then I grab that game. I try and investigate what in my component specifically is screwed, whether it's my CPU, whether it's the graphics card or whatever, right? And then I'll just go buy whatever it is the new benchmark is, or the least amount of money that I can spend to get that benchmark and play max settings. My my bet calculation or research points me to the following conclusion. On PC, with the setting I have right now, I don't have to make an upgrade until 2030. When 2030 comes around, I'll probably have to buy one or two components that won't be more than $500. So just in terms of the upgrade nature, forget all the accessibility stuff in PC gaming itself. Just in terms of upgrade and the cost of upgrading, it sounds or feels to me at least that it's going to be cheaper on PC than console, especially because of where we live. Oshes, thoughts?
Yeah, agreed. Like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you've got a, and again, like, I think memory is starting to matter more as more games transition from bake lighting to ray tracing lighting. So yeah, I mean, like, you good. Like, if you've got a 16 gig card, like say like an RX 7800 XT, you sorted for the next couple of years. You don't have to worry about upgrading anything. The only thing that you might do is that, do you play your games at 4K currently?
No.
At 1440p?
I only have one screen that sorry, I only have one TV that's 4K, and that's the one
Yeah.
that stays in the sitting room. So
Okay, so your monitor is what?
I'm not going to put my PC there. I don't know. I think it's HD. What's it? OLED or whatever.
Just check next
The
time
the
you play.
basic
Just
stuff,
check
right?
what resolution. Go to your settings. Check what resolution you're playing at. But with a 7800 XT, you should be playing at 1440p to 4K easily. So what might happen is over time you'll just have to reduce your resolution
4K also
from
depends on the
1440p.
screen, right? For,
Sorry,
4K also depends on the screen, correct? I'm saying
it depends on your
4K
monitor.
also
Yes, yeah,
depends on the screen. You
yeah.
can press the 4K button, but you're not going to get 4K because you don't have 4K on the screen, correct?
Yes, like sometimes like some
Yeah. So
monitors
the
won't even allow you to sort of like scale. It'll just go black if it doesn't support 4K. Some, like my monitor, it allows you to upscale your based on your graphics card settings. I can upscale on my monitor to 4K if I wanted to. But like all you'll have to do, by basically, long story short, Loke, is that the older your card gets, you'll just reduce the resolution. So worst case scenario, you'll end up playing at 1080p on a PC monitor, which is not that bad until you can update your card. So that's the thing. And and again, there's, as much as there's caveats if you want to buy new cards, there's always the secondhand market where you can still get like older cards that are still fucking kick ass. And that's what I suggest to everyone: is stay away from new cards, go to the 30 series, um, and the 7800s, and your 60, sorry, those your 6000 series as well. There's a lot of AMD. If you're AMD, there's a lot of great cards that you can still get there that will give you your value for your money versus spending the same money on a substandard brand new card.
All right, Roger that. Apologies to everyone. I did not intend for us to have like a mini deep dive on PC gaming. That was not the intention. Hidden Rogue, welcome in, says if one or two components are your CPU, you might as well build a new PC. A new CPU will require a new motherboard
Yeah,
that
that's
is
true.
compatible. Okay, appreciate that tip. I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. Richie says remote play your PC. Yeah, the issue is not just remote play, because I have access to the living room PC, but to the living room TV, but it's not just my TV, right? I have to contend with the wife. I have to contend with my little one. It's an issue, you know. She wants to watch Baby Shark stuff, and I'm just trying to play some Remnant, you know. So I don't even bother stressing myself out with that TV. It doesn't exist anymore. Reezy says, Ty, blink twice if you need help. All right. All right. Let, let's not pretend like we feel sorry for Ty. Let's get back to Helldivers. So Ham Solo, 50% of the channel, said this screams sex. Ladies and gentlemen, what screams sex? Let's see.
I didn't get this though, like what he meant, but like this is cool.
Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing in that hell pod?
Sir, liberty.
Bro, come on, guys. Come on. That's a nice shot. Yes?
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Don't hate Oshus.
No, why would I hate?
Nah, that
That's a
shot is
pretty,
quite. That
that's a
shot is
pretty nice.
weird.
Oh, come on, Ty.
Well, it looks
Of
like
course you would hate it.
no, it's like the fingers are touching. Like why?
It's the painting,
I know.
the
Yeah,
Michelangelo.
Dude!
yeah. It looks too
Oh my
romantic. Like
god.
what's going on?
This guy. What is that painting called?
Like you could
The what
just
is it?
like
The
you
cathedral.
could do it in a more manly way and grab his arm and then you both lift each other up. But this is like we're about to like hook up or something. Like
Oh,
this is
like,
weird.
What is that paint? What is that? Is it the cathedral?
it really isn't.
It's very
Jeez,
iconic.
man, what's wrong with you, Ty?
Nah, I don't like this
This is
picture.
like they're copying the thing,
Yeah,
where God is passing
touching
on
Abraham.
knowledge to mankind.
Yeah,
Come on, bro.
Master Chief
It's
is
like God
passing
and
on.
The
Adam.
creation
You
of
you
Adam.
He's
and
passing
then and then
on.
and then it's so apropos. It's so apropos because Master Chief is essentially like the next level. He's not even human anymore. He's something superhuman.
Ah, guys, this is corny.
He's
What do
not
you like?
exactly God, but
This is so disappointing.
oh my god.
Oh, this is not
All right, Ty.
official.
All
This is
right. I don't
fan
want to
made.
mute.
Oh no, yeah, I know it's not official, but like there was actually one that released like I think when Helldivers 2 came out, and the Halo guys, whether somebody made it, and that was really cool. That was action orientated. It looks like it was action packed. This one right here looks like romance.
Dude, stop being toxic, bro.
Blind Giant. What the fuck? Blind
Yeah.
Giant. What the fuck, bro?
You guys are so toxic.
Hey, Ushers. It's just me
Yeah,
and you, bro. It's just me and you. These guys have problems. That's all
serious
I'm gonna say.
problem.
These guys have
Very
issues. They're not
insecure
comfortable.
heroes, these
They're not
guys.
comfortable in their masculinity.
No, not at all.
Ushers, they're not comfortable in their masculinity. That's the truth of it.
Okay, you guys touch each other like that then.
That's the truth of it.
You guys touch each other like that.
Too much
Oh my
projecting.
goodness.
Yeah,
No,
too
what's
much
the problem?
projecting.
Bro, so much projection.
It was be projection. I'm telling you, it's corny.
All right,
Like,
let's
I'm
move
what am
on.
I projecting?
Yeah,
Let's you know what? Let's move from one guy that's coping. Let's go to the next guy that's coping. Enemy of the channel, MBG says Nix's software helped develop the Xbox port of Helldivers 2. If I'm not mistaken, this marks the first time Sony has shown a willingness to utilize their own studios, move one of their games to Xbox consoles. This is telling, in my opinion. Actually, okay, so he's not coping. He's not coping at all. He's making the same prediction, tacitly, obviously, but it seems like he's making the same prediction that this is a sign of things to come. Obviously, we've gone through this. Oshus doesn't think it's going to happen. Me and Tyre, we agree on this one. It's going to happen, yo. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's a sad day for a lot of people, but it's going to happen. We just we just have to make peace with it. Moving on, we've got Robert Morrison. He said something. He said something, and I thought, you know what, we should discuss this on the pod. We really should. Robert Morrison said, I have 16 years of professional experience working as an animator on video games. I do it because I love video games and I love animation. This is my passion. Like many other people in their own lives, I have suffered and bled for this career. Ups and downs. Moved many, many times to different cities, never stopped learning and trying to improve so I can make something great for myself, for the team, and for the gamers. But man, it hurts a little when I hear people say, I don't care about the layoffs. Don't say you love video games if you don't care about the people that make the thing you love. Ty, what are your thoughts on this one?
I don't care about the layoffs. This one is, I don't know. Go to Ushers first. Let me rethink this.
All right, Ushers, Don't say you love video games if you don't care about the people that make the thing you love.
Okay, okay, I got it now.
Thoughts?
I got it now. I got it now. Um,
Oh, okay, okay.
this is nonsense to me. You don't. People love the
It's
video game.
nonsense.
Yeah, they love the video game. They don't. You don't have to love the people per se. Um, I have friends who love Elden Ring, Souls-like games. They have no idea who makes these games. They just love the games. Now, some of them go beyond that and they want to know the creator. You know, so Miyazaki, and that's it. They don't want to know about his life. They don't want to know about his jobs. They don't want to know about anything. And if Miyazaki says, "I don't want to make games anymore," they'll just be like, "Okay, that sucks. That's unfortunate. Keep it moving." So the idea that you have to care about layoffs, no, you don't have to care at all. In fact, I think too many people care. And when I say care, they care for reasons I don't
Oh,
understand. But they care for reasons I don't understand because they're the same
uh-huh.
losers who attack these devs um, when it suits them. Oh, you're against us, you're making woke games. But as soon as layoffs happen, because it's a corporation that they don't like, now all of a sudden you guys are disgusting. How could you do this to the devs? So it's all agenda focused.
Yeah, yeah.
If a game or studio is being shut down, more than likely it's because they've lost funding. And
Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep going. Keep
that
going.
studio
Keep
didn't
cooking.
see value in that studio. Now, you might disagree. That's fine for you to disagree. But then my response is, okay, then you go put your money inside it then. If you think that studio was so valuable
Mm,
that they shouldn't have, closed the project down or shut them down, then you go put your money inside it. And if you don't have money to put inside it or you don't want to do it, then don't tell people how they should, how and when they should put their money inside it. I'm talking to a guy who said, Everwild shouldn't have been canceled. I'm like, 10 years? Nothing to show for it. 10 years? You want to invest another 4 years in that? Okay, you go put your, call your kids' tuition, your house, your car, your savings. Go give it to them and let them, give you the return in the next 5 years. His answer is no. Okay, then why are you telling other people to invest their money into it? This is just what it is.
Asmongold says this, Ty. I
He
know you
says
don't
the same
like
thing.
Asmongold,
Well,
but
W for him.
he says the same thing you are saying. He says people are very generous with other people's money.
Hmm. They are. They talk.
Very generous.
They
But as soon as it's
demand.
time for you to stamp up, it's like, whoa.
I
Yeah,
was talking to these guys as well, and I said
yeah.
that because they were like, we need to get corporations out of the industry, but I was like, okay, I'm like, Stellar Blade, corporation funded. Look at the potential game of the years. Death
We,
Stranding 2, corporation funded, right?
we've
Um,
gone through this.
Split
We've gone
Fiction,
through this,
corporation
Ty. That
funded.
was one of my
Yeah,
biggest L's on this show.
yeah. I was like, even the big game, Club Obscure, Microsoft and Kepler and NetEase have the fingerprints on that game. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was published by this, I can't remember the name of the publisher, but publisher is owned by Embracer Group. I'm like, everything is corporation funded. So what do you want? And this is the part where I'm never taking a shot at you, but you get rid of all these corporations, then go play Schedule One or whatever the hell that game is called. That's your game of the year from here on in. No, I don't want that. I want Death Stranding 2. I want
Schedule
Ghost
one
of
is
Yotei.
awesome.
I
Schedule
want
one is awesome.
I
Schedule
want
one
Clear
is
Obscure.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome, but I want Clear Obscure. I want the altars. I
That's
don't
fair.
want these
That's
these
fair.
games that like one developer made. Like, yeah, ooh, cool. I mean, that's nice like for people who want to play that. But no, I want GTA 6 to come out. So I don't get these kind of anti-corporate talk and at the same time just like people should care and be upset. Like, no, it's I want to say it's just business, but I mean that's what we live in, right? It's just business.
Quite literally. It is quite literally business, brother. Quite literally. You saw their statement. They were talking about agility and flexibility and all of this. You'd think Microsoft and Xbox wants to become an Olympic athlete with all this talk about physical prowess. Oshis, thoughts on Mr. Morrison's tweet here?
I responded was to your tweet, and I just said like, dude, like we gave you the money, we bought your game. We don't need to cry with you when your employer decides to lay you off. I mean, to me, this always sort of like comes off with the same way like artists feel about AI. I'm like, but did you guys cry for the factory workers who were replaced by machinery, or did you go and buy your electric
Hell
car?
no.
Exactly. Like, like these things happen, but like it's only when they happen to a certain group or a certain class of people, then it's a tragedy. Like, like who are like
Yes.
people that Microsoft laid off? Who are the other 8,000 that were not in gaming that no one is talking about? But these entitled, there's just this, like developers are so entitled. They like to say gamers are entitled. There's a huge entitlement in gamers. Sorry, in developers, because for the last 5 years they've they've
Radio.
spent every single chance they've had. Look, you know this. They've used this to call us man babies and all this bullshit. Like a lot of the lexicon that
Yes.
uses, uh, like they've been doing that for the last 5 years. So when gamers are like thumping their noses at their faces and like and doing
Five.
like
Longer, bro.
now it's a tragedy. Now it's a ooh, well, how could you be so mean? But like you guys have treated gamers like trash for the last decade. So what do you expect? What do you expect? Sympathy from these people that you've gone out of your way to alienate? I don't know. Like it's worse if, like, for instance, in this situation, a lot of these developers work or worked on games that were very well supported. It's so silly. It's so silly to me. Like, so yeah, like I just feel that, like, well, we bought your game. What do you want from us? Well, what
I,
more?
I I do disagree a little bit with Osh. I mean, even though we're saying the exact same thing, the reason why I'm disagreeing is because um, when people make it seem like they don't care, like, yeah, I don't care if you got fired, I don't care if you got laid off. Okay, well, don't care when they make games that you don't want to play, and then you go fight them and attack them online and say like, oh, this is a woke game. It's like people are picking and choosing then when they want to be attached to the person. I'll be attached to you when I feel like it.
Mm.
Like, just be
But like,
consistent. I don't talk to.
but
I don't care about this guy. Don't care anything about what he's doing or saying. So when he complains, I don't even recognize it. But then when he makes a wokish game or whatever, I don't recognize it too. So I'm consistent on that front. Right? These other people, they're very entitled. They'll look at him and be like, I don't care that you got laid off. So I'm just gonna ignore you. However, when you make a game that I don't like, even though it's not for me, well, I'm gonna come at you on Twitter and then attack you and say, why,
yes,
why is there a black lesbian
Okay,
in?
hold on.
Yeah, but
Hold
that's
on. Hold on,
inconsistent.
Ty. Hold on. Hold on, Ty. Hold on. I'm gonna use myself as an example. I'm gonna use myself as an example. I don't care, right? I don't care. And then you turn around and then you grab my precious Gears of War and then you turn it into whatever the hell the fictional modern audience wants. Even though I don't care about you, you came to my franchise that I love and you shat on it. I didn't come looking for you, bro. You came to my God of War and made him drink soy milk. You came to Solid Snake and and made him make a dumbass speech about being against nicotine and smoking is bad. I'm giving examples. I'm giving random ass examples. A lot of these people that be bitching about these franchises, obviously you have your grifters, Ty. Obviously you do have your grifters, no doubt. But in my opinion, the large majority of people bitching about stuff that gets bastardized, it's not grifters. It's people that were minding their own business. They saw World of Warcraft being turned from a glorious masterpiece into a soy jacked piece of crap that people just meme on. And they were like, wow, I really don't care about that. Sucks to be a Warcraft fan, right? And then they went off and went to play God of War. Suddenly, the devs that were at Warcraft went skipping and hopping straight into the studio of God of War. And guess who does not have sex mini games in his franchise anymore? So it's not 100%, oh, you don't care. You say you don't care about these people, but you're shitting on them. People wouldn't be shitting on these people if they didn't come in and bastardize things that these people already were enjoying before they came in. I just wanted to add that little caveat to your speech. That's all. That's all. So my takeaway from Mr. Morrison's speech here, it's a lot of what Osha said, but my big highlight is this stuff. Don't say you love video games if you don't care about the people that make the thing you love. Okay, show me if I'm supposed to care, right? Show me when one, I don't even need 1,000. One gaming studio woke up on a random Tuesday or Monday or
So I
any day
got
that
kicked
ends
out.
with a Y. Okay, show me this one studio that randomly felt like they needed to feel humanity for me. And they saw that, you know what? Loke has wish listed, I don't know, Tekken 2. He has wish listed Tekken 2 for about a year. Let's randomly just go to his account and just drop in Tekken 2 into his account. Let's show Loke some humanity. That has never, ever happened to me. There's not a single corporation, whether it's video games, movies, food, electricity, there's not a single corporation that has ever showed humanity to me. What they want is for me to pay the fucking price. If it says $10 on the box, give me 10 and take the thing. That's all it is. All this business about trying to act and add these caveats and whatever, you know what? I think Robert Morrison fell for the trap. When we're making fun of people, Ushers and Tyre, when we're making fun of fanboys, telling them, guys, Xbox is not your friend, PlayStation is not your friend. I guess we now have to lump in developers. Gamers are not your friends. We're your customers. Put the fries in the bag and leave. It's not complicated. Just really want to get that off my chest.
Well, so in
Anyways,
relation to what you were saying about people coming in and
yeah,
messing with the IP, there's two ways to go with that, right? And the first
yeah.
way is that, like, well, you don't own the IP. Someone else owns the IP, and they can do whatever the hell they want to do with it. So you can just back off and just let them, make whatever they want to make with it. But that
And
argument, let's just
then,
push it aside.
yes, Ty, 1,000,000%. We will see that you fucked up Metal Gear. We're gonna bounce. And then when you get fired, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do, Ty? Are we supposed to get on our knees and cry and bellow out, oh, woe is thee? And we are so heartbroken that the people that came in and shat in our living rooms lost the jobs, right? That they had to shit in our living rooms. We're now supposed to feign sympathy for these people. Really? That's the outcome. That wasn't a rhetorical question, Ty.
No, for those people, no. I don't think they would even expect that as well, because they don't expect people who hate them to not to want them to. They don't expect people who hate them to actually care. The problem is people who don't really have a connection with them, right? So, for example, if Loke says, "Hey, listen, you're messing up with Metal Gear Solid," Usher says, "You're messing up with Gears of War." If you guys are complaining and you're fighting them online, I think people can actually understand that. But let's be clear, a lot of what's happening online is not because someone is messing with my IP. It's because they're making products that I don't like. That's really what the argument is. Do you know how many
That's
people
what
who? You know how many people
my
who?
IP is, brother.
No, like so. If Ushers is upset with Dragon Age's new stance, I get that. But how many people do I know who never played Dragon Age who are complaining? So that's my issue with these people. Why are you complaining when it's an IP you don't know nothing about? It's because the game that's being made has nothing to do with you, and you're upset about it. Why do some people complain about sorry, not Club Obscure, about South of Midnight? I mean, you covered it on your show before. Some people did complain about South of Midnight. Why? It's not for you. It's a brand new IP. But I don't like the fact that this person or this game isn't for me. So I'm going to complain about it. I'm going at those people.
Okay. And like I said earlier on, those people do not make up the majority of people complaining.
No, they do.
You know why?
Why?
You know why?
Why?
You know why they don't make up the majority? Dragon Age was successful before. Let's throw out random numbers. Let's say the first two Dragon Age sold 10 and 12 million copies respectively. The next one sells 2 million. What does that tell you?
That is selling better?
No. Like I said, dude, Dragon Age 1 sells 10 million. Dragon Age 2 sells 12 million. Dragon Age 3 sells 2 million. What does that tell you? Does that tell you that the grifters are the ones who left and didn't buy the game?
Wait, so the latest one that sold 3 million. Oh, sorry, 12, 13 million, whatever you said. Yeah, it means it's selling more. What's the question? I'm not understanding.
No. Listen. Pay attention. Listen.
Mm-hmm.
Layoffs happen when these companies don't sell, right? When the publishers don't sell.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is the people that you are upset at, they don't even factor into the equation when I'm talking about the people that are happy that these guys have lost their jobs. I'm not just talking about the Xbox. I'm talking about especially the guys that are making shit games that people are shitting on, right? What I'm trying to say is the core gamers, the guys that bought your game previously, they're the ones who are upset. They're the ones who left. And going back to Dragon Age as an example, Dragon Age had this great legacy in the past. It wasn't just because people liked it. It's because people bought the damn games. And they didn't buy the new one. And it doesn't matter about the grifters because the grifters weren't part of the original fan base.
Agreed.
That's why I'm trying to say they're the ones who make up the majority of people that are upset. You're saying that there's more grifters that are upset about these failed games. I'm saying the numbers show that that's not true. The numbers show that even the core gamers that bought the game, the first and second games, didn't buy the third one. Why didn't they buy the third one?
No, I'm not focusing on
Because
that.
it was shit.
No, but I'm not focusing on that though.
And now people lost their jobs. What I'm focusing on is that I'm focusing on the core gamers. I'm a Democrat. It's all about democracy for me. It's about what the majority thinks.
Yeah, but I
And the
agreed with you
majority,
that the
right, are not grifters.
majority.
They're not content creators. The majority think that your game or your product was crap. And then what happened? They didn't buy it. And then what happened? The execs saw the reports. And then what happened? Then you lost your job. It's not the responsibility of the people that don't like what you made to keep you employed. It's not even their responsibility to even care if you're down on your luck. Because if that's their responsibility, then guess what? Suddenly it now becomes developers' responsibility if Loke has $70, $80 to buy fucking what's it called? This game that Xbox has coming out in later on this year. What's it called, Ushers? The Obsidian game. God damn it. Outer Worlds 2. Suddenly it's now the developers, I'm now sending emails to the developers like, yo, I just lost my job. Like USA left Africa. You guys are aware of this, right? Yeah, man, I can't pay $80. There's no developer on the planet that's gonna sit there and be like, oh, poor Loke. You know what? In the name of humanity, give us 30. They don't give a fuck. So why should we, bro? Why? Why should we give a fuck about these people's well-being? They don't give a fuck about our wallets. What are we doing? They don't care if we can pay for electricity. We don't care because they don't care, and it's fine.
Well, that is my argument, though, isn't it?
Fuzzy says no.
That people shouldn't care in the first place.
Yes, yes, Fuzzy. I moved. Fuzzy, I moved because people are shitting in my living room. That's why I moved, Fuzzy. Yes, yes, that's what happened. Sorry for going off on a tangent there, Ty. I don't even know, like shit.
No. I mean, I
All
guess
right.
I agree because pretty much that's what I'm saying. People shouldn't really care. They should just kind of detach. But if you're going to be attached in a stage with a developer, then I can understand why you might want to care about their their failings. But it's to those people who are fans of Metal Gear Solid and they don't like the direction. Yeah, I mean, you're fans. You don't complain. You don't like Draconish stands. Complain. But leave the games that have nothing to do with your IP that you love so much alone. That's it.
Yeah, to keep the same energy essentially, and I can agree with that. Oshis, sorry for going off on that tangent. I know you agree with me 1,000,000% on everything I said there. So we're just gonna keep on moving, correct?
Yeah, good, all good.
All right. Moving on, we have some receipts. We have some receipts. Oliver Darko says, honestly, I already assumed Everwild was in some type of trouble when Jez Corden said some months ago. Quote, I heard that development of Everworld is going well. They've nailed the gameplay loop now, and we should be seeing that in the future. So here's some receipts. You guys know how it is on Twitter, man. Like every time something happens, if you're big enough and Jez Corden is big enough, people are gonna pull up stuff that happened years ago or that you said years ago. So here's some receipts from Jez on Everwild.
We got a super chat here from Quasman. Remember Everwild? Indeed, I do. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, who knows when we're going to see that game again. Maybe next year. Maybe where's that in Contraband, I guess.
I heard that, I did mention this on an earlier podcast, but I heard that development on Everworld's going well. They've nailed the gameplay loop now, and we should be seeing that in the future.
Well, you know what? I think we've come to the end of the show.
That was apropos because as soon as you said it, the guys like, yeah, well, you know what? We've come to the end of the show. Osha, I want you to go first on this one. What do you think about what Jez said, and what do you think about Jez in general? Because there's like a discussion going on online because of everything that's happened in the last few days. Suddenly, like everything that's ever been said about any Xbox influencer is up in the air. Even Chris Avalon, like a legit developer connected to like Fallout and all, and the founding of Fallout and all this other stuff, is going at Jez, calling him a clown or a clown's clown. What are your thoughts on the whole Jez situation?
I told Ty a while back that he blocked me, so yeah, good on him.
Jez blocked you?
Yeah, he
Jez
blocked me.
blocked you.
Yeah, and I didn't even say anything like inflammatory or try to harass. Like I just
No, you're always shitting on Xbox. You're always shitting on Xbox.
Yeah, but like it wasn't like a personal attack or anything. I just like sort of didn't agree with his opinion, and he just blocked me. So I hope he
Damn.
survives the marriage because he seems to be a very thin-skinned guy. In my opinion, like he's like a Jason Schreier. He should move to Blueski. But yeah, I think yeah, it's gonna be rough for him in the next couple of months. Um, because again, like he says a lot of things, like your Jeff Grubbs, they say a lot of things, man. And again, it's part of their business. They've got insiders. They're part of like some sort of a publication or a big podcast or outlet. So it's part of your business to sort of say these things. But again, if you say these things, be prepared for the inevitable recourse, because gaming or the gaming community is very reactive or responsive when it comes to a lot of this stuff.
Ty, thoughts on Jez's post and people bringing out receipts?
Jez I actually really like him. I think he's a good guy, good at his job. Gives a lot of good information, has sources that people can't deny. So there's no reason to hate on him personality wise. Like he's just a really cool guy. I mean, like I've been watching the podcast for a good bit. And yeah, he's cool. In terms of the gotcha moments, like I was arguing with somebody online about this. It's just they're all stupid. Like oh, he said games will never go to PlayStation. Yeah, he said that on a tweet, bro. Like that wasn't some official confirmation. And second of all, if you admit, even if he did say that, for argument's sake, aren't you guys saying that like Xbox keeps shifting strategies left and right? So by default, the information he had back then could be different 2 weeks ago. Like Sarah Bond literally said, Hi-Fi Rush, Tango, amazing studio, and then they got shut down. She probably didn't think we are going to get shut down because Xbox is moving fast, very, very freaking fast. So if people this is what I hate. People recognize things, but when the full picture doesn't suit their narrative, they're just going to leave out information. So that's dumb. Yeah, they're going at him like even this year, like it's so fucking ridiculous. Sorry for cursing. Um, he said that he heard, and if you recognize that he has sources, then I don't know what you're crying about, right? You believe his sources when they suit you, but when his sources, allows him to take an L, then you attack him. When he says, my sources have played the game and said the gameplay loop is coming together, because the first initial thing about Everwild is that it didn't have any gameplay. It was supposed to be a bit artistic or whatever it is. Then the creative director, I think his name was Simon Woodruff, he left, and then somebody else took over. So they had to come up with a new gameplay loop, and they were struggling. Now they eventually probably found a gameplay loop, so things were progressing. Right? That's cool. Things were progressing. So that was the information he got, which is probably freaking true. Phil Spencer went there and played in, I think in January. And he said, "Yeah, things are looking good." However, when Microsoft comes down and says, well, this game has been developed for 10 years, like gameplay loop or not, like we'll spend millions on this game. So my next question is, when is it going to release? 6 months? 1 year? And they're like, well, we got the loop sorted out. I don't care about the loop. When is it going to release? And then if you say 3 years, they say cancel the fucking game. Like this is not difficult to understand. This is simple. So when people ignore this part, it makes me think that they're just some either you're just trying to push an agenda, or you're a fucking idiot. It has to be one of the two. There's no other way to explain this kind of stupid kind of thinking. All these like reasons for going at him is just so stupid. Like it's ridiculous. It's a complete joke.
Oh, Ty is defensive of Jizz.
I defend the truth, bro. I defend the truth.
So sweet, Ty.
It's because you're one of the losers fucking talking about him.
Oh my god.
Guys, please don't hurt Jizz's feelings. Ty is gonna come for you.
Oshus, it's because they're both in the UK. That's why he's defending. They're both in the UK. That's why.
It's just from a British brother.
Proximity, brother. Yeah, it's his British brother. His British
like,
brother.
You kind of like it's just everything they're going at him is just a joke, right? Like, oh yeah, he said that the game is shaping up well. Like, I mean, did he know it's gonna get cancelled? Like this whole thing is so silly. And as for the developer going for him, I don't even know like what the argument is. Like, because he covered Avowed in and said the game was looking good or the game is okay, and none of this makes sense. It's like people are angry and they're looking for blood. And they've decided anybody who's adjacent to Xbox, who even championed the ABK deal, we want to fight you. So when they can get it. But the same person who's saying that, who's trying to make it seem like he cares about the employees and is upset about his cancellations is the same person who's saying, where's the accountability for Redfall? Why is this studio allowed to make to drop this game? It's the same person who's literally saying, shut the whole shit down, fire everyone. Okay, so 8,000 employees wasn't enough.
Smooth, right?
These they're all jokers. They're all jokers. Like they don't care. They just care about the
talking
little.
about me because I said that. I said shut the whole shit down.
Yeah,
Like,
you as well. You're a loser. Yeah,
they should have shut it down 15 years ago. No, I'm kidding. But like,
shut the whole thing down. Why, Oshers? Where's the benefit for me and you if they shut it down, bro?
Man, I was just trolling. Go on, Ty.
Oh, you were just trolling. Okay.
Busy with a serious tirade. Go, Ty. Tell
Bro,
me.
I want more games. I want more games. I want Apple to get into AAA gaming. I want Amazon to get into AAA. I want more companies investing into gaming, because then I'm gonna get more video games, more awesome video games. Because as we know, video games, especially AAA, are expensive. So the more guys to come in to fund these video games, the better for me. So when I hear someone say, "Oh, Xbox should shut the whole thing down," I'm like, bro, that's one more source of video games that you want to shut down and take away from me? No, bro, that's not cool. I'm not down with that. That's a what?
So that's a sacrifice we're willing to make.
Okay.
Well, like to be like, let me put like as well. The way it's going, it looks like Phil wants to shut the whole thing down. Like when Phil visits your studio and says your game is doing well, you better start sweating. Like it's.
I would sweat. Listen, and I'm not even responding to you being a troll.
And we'll give you all the time you need. Take all the time you need. You need another 5 years? Yeah, sure. Oh, Jesus. So funny.
4 months later, everyone's getting their marching orders. Yeah, it's not cool if Phil rocks up and says, "Yeah, everything's going cool, no problem." I'd be scared. All right.
Then you get an email.
Let's move to the last. What?
No, then I say you receive an email saying, "Well, you might as well work from home today. The news are going to be pretty hard." Oh,
dude, there's stories of people. There's stories of people getting locked out of their Slack channels.
I don't know how
so you might not even get an email. Suddenly, you just don't have access to the tools for you to sign in to work.
I just
that's how crazy it is.
It's weird, man.
Anyways, let's not sit here and pretend like we actually care, because we don't. Let's be honest. Let's move on to the last receipting. That's what I'm calling it, receipting. Oliver Darko again said, Paris Lily teams up with Mr. Boomstick XL and goes on a wild rant about anonymous Twitter users who confront him with his past statements regarding Xbox exclusivity. And I quote, "I'm highly intelligent and I see what's going on. Everything I said in 2020 and 21 was 100% correct." Let's watch the video. And then we can get you guys.
And again, I love to mock this now. The whole, well, you changed your opinion from 5 years ago because you're just going with what Xbox tells you to do, or you're just following marketing points. It's like, no, I'm highly intelligent and I see what's going on. So I talk about the reality of something in the moment, just like, and not to rant on this, but just like this whole exclusivity thing. Everything I said about exclusivity in 2020 and 2021 was 100% correct. And I will stand on the fact that Phil Spencer himself acknowledged it in public. So I wasn't wrong.
No.
But I'm wrong today because they changed their business strategy. It's that simple. And you move on from it. But it's hilarious to me how people can be anonymous. The anonymous people have the most to say. I guess that's what I'm trying to point out. And again, I love to mock this now. The whole, well, you changed your opinion from 5 years ago because you're just going with what Xbox tells you to do, or you're just following marketing points. It's like, no, I'm highly intelligent and I see what's going on. So I talk about the reality of something in the moment. Just like, and I.
All right, so it's repeating now. Osha's thoughts.
I don't know, dude. Like again, like why are people? The one thing I don't understand is like why are people? If you're online, why are you so sensitive to opinions? Like it's the whole nature or the beast of the nature of the beast. Like it's to me, I really do not understand this. Like you really should have that sort of like thick skin or social intelligence to understand the environment that you're navigating. It's like being in corporate and being surprised when corporates act like corporates. You're on the internet, you're a creator, you are in gaming, one of the most, I would say, aggressive environments in terms of like online
Yes.
discourse. This should be an expectation. It's
Yes.
the same thing I say for developers when they start crying about being harassed. I'm like, grow a thick skin, dude. Like, I mean, this is the nature of the business. You know what you're getting into. Same with gaming journals. You know exactly what this is. Like, I mean, that's the only thing. Like, I'm not gonna comment in terms of like what he said because again, I just think that what's more important is just to assess this thing of like why are you so reactive? You're successful. You're doing great. You've got a great relationship with Xbox. You've got a great channel. You've got great partners. Focus on that and move on, dude. Like, it's not worth unless you want to sort of stir it up, because you know that it's gonna get people talking. Then But I don't think Paris is that sort of guy. But yeah, you're doing great, dude. Like nothing they say is gonna change your success. So why care?
Why react?
Exactly. Just
So
ignore
you
it.
think he should just keep it pushing?
Yeah, just keep it moving, dude. Like
Don't
you
acknowledge it. Just keep.
Yeah, like I mean, if I was in his position and I knew that, like, look, I've got a relationship with Xbox, and I think everything I do is above board, which I think, like, I don't think out of all the people on the internet, I would never accuse Paris of like. I think he's a genuinely good guy in real life. Like, I think outside the internet and all this other stuff, he's a genuine. It's like cult. They just seem like to me very nice guys that are just this is the thing that they do and they've become successful at it because of like their personalities. Like just focus on that. Focus this for every one hater that he has, he's got 5 people that like him. Why not focus on that?
All right. Right. That's very positive coming from you, Oshers. I'm genuinely surprised, bro.
This guy.
I was ready to hear some Mr. Negative shit coming from him. Just being honest. I'm just being honest. All right. Ty, thoughts on what Paris Lily said and this guy, Oliver Darko, essentially trying to like own him because he said something and it didn't happen.
The whole thing's ridiculous.
Ty, you still there?
Yeah, the whole thing's ridiculous.
Okay, there we go.
I just find it a bit insane that someone says something, and then things changes, and then people pull up what they said in the past. Like it's just insane to me that these are like the gotcha moments that people have. There are better gotcha moments. Like we've seen this, but if this is the best the gaming trolling space can do, like these are nothing. It makes perfect sense that he comments on these people talking crap about him because he's engaged, right? Like there's two options you can do. You could just completely ignore them and not talk to them, but he's part of the Twitter space, so he wants to talk to people. He comments on people and he participates. Like whenever Ushers makes comments, and I attack him for it, he's engaged. I'm engaged, right? If he doesn't want to engage, he can just completely ignore me, but he's engaged. So as soon as he goes up there, it's fair game for me to go up and attack, and it's fair game for him to attack me back. Now I can also Usher go on a podcast and talk about me as well. In the same way I can go on a podcast and talk about him too as well. Same thing for you too, Loke. So I don't blame him for coming back with other people because he wants to be engaged in the community. If he really didn't want to engage with the community, all he had to do was just block his replies, and then he just post things up, whatever he wants to do. But no, he wants to talk, so I think it's fair. It's fair. It's okay for Oliver Darko to make this video. Um, I suppose, but I just think it's silly. Again, like, just go down to the core of it. He said something in the past. Plans have changed, so what he said doesn't make sense anymore. That there is nothing controversial about it. It is what it is.
Okay. Okay. My take is mostly what you guys are saying. It's his job to say things that he sees and analyzes, and like as we all know, he's got these contacts and whatever. It makes sense. It makes sense for him to have opinions on these things. And if you care about any hobby, right, or any industry even, because there's people like Paris in motorsport, like real life motorsport. There's people like Paris in basketball commentary. There's people like Paris in football commentary. There's people like Paris in every single industry. And these people that have genuine connections, like you guys said, uh, it's not 100% accuracy, because today's decision is not what's going to get followed through on every single time tomorrow. The only thing like I kind of agree with Oshes, because Oshes, like, maybe he shouldn't be saying these things, and just enjoy it, bro. You've won at life. Just keep it pushing. Don't interact with, like Taya would say, these losers. Don't interact with them. For me, I would say, don't say stuff like I am highly intelligent. I don't. I don't think that helped. We don't have the time to go into the comment section. But regardless of what people are saying, stuff like that is not. It doesn't reflect well, because a lot of people are disingenuous when they look at stuff. They don't focus on the totality of what you said. They'll do what Oliver Darko said here, which is, he quoted this specific part where he said he's highly intelligent. It's not a good thing to say out loud. Like, I'm not even like a Japanese and a worship at the altar of modesty, but it's not the type of thing you say unless you're joking. Like when you're like and you're doing a bit, like maybe like The Rock talking about himself in third person or whatever. But the way he said it, oh man, it just didn't come off right, in my opinion.
I think.
I also like Paris Lily.
Yeah, I
Go
think you
ahead,
should
go
have
ahead,
just
Oshis.
phrased it differently. Like, I've got foresight in terms of like the gaming. Like, I've been in gaming long enough that I have the foresight to sort of like make that assertion, or I make these based on, like, refer to your like sort of like exposure to the industry, and the fact that you've sort of gotten like this the knowledge and the experience, blah blah blah, has put you in a position where you can make these sort of like statements. Doesn't mean that you're right, but you didn't just do it out of like thin air. You did it out of like from an informed position. I don't know how you say that
Yeah, some
in a bit
experience.
more precise way.
Yeah, but you guys and you understand what I'm saying when I say that
Yeah,
the
no, no,
whole "I'm
absolutely. Because
highly
you come off as
intelligent" thing kind of
condescending,
comes
or
off.
like you're better than everyone else when you phrase it like that. Especially if you're successful. That's the problem. Like,
You,
when you're successful and you're doing well, it looks like you're looking down on everyone else, or especially your naysayers and all that type of stuff. So if you want to sort of like, to your point, come off as not pretentious or ignorant, so arrogant, you could phrase it a little bit better.
yeah, yeah.
You
Anyways,
know, I actually missed that part
on
where it
the,
says I am highly intelligent. So I completely missed that. Yeah, that's not great.
yeah, it's not a great look, but in a way, it's endearing to see that he still makes these types of mistakes. So then we can point out and be like, you know what, he's human. He's just a guy. He's not a corporate mouthpiece. A corporate mouthpiece would have like a speech all written out and whatever. But
Well, I think
he's just a
I think
guy.
what really happens here is that he's trying to say is, and I think it's always good to be gracious with people with with some of these comments, especially when they're like live, right? Is that what he's trying to say is that, like, listen,
Mm.
I am somebody. I'm I think what he's really trying to say is that I'm on Twitter and I'm mixing with so many fucking idiots, people who are so stupid that I'm going back and forth with them. And there is an element of, like, the fact that these people think that, like, I'm just some random or whatever. I'm not. I'm somebody who is, educated. I'm not just saying bullshit. I'm not trolling. I'm not some, like slop kind of like woke this, woke that. Like, I'm I'm this is who I am. And I have insights into the industry. So, like, for you to come and challenge me, you with no like insights or whatsoever, just doing a console war is bullshit. I think that's kind of what he's trying to say. You just gotta say it in a nice, like, in a clean up way.
Yeah, yeah. It didn't come off. It didn't come off perfect. But hey, to err is human. Everyone, to err is human. Anyways, I wish Paris all the best, and I hope like in things commentary from people like you, commentary and criticism from people like Oliver Darko and whatever. I hope it doesn't stop. Because sometimes people can get like a bad rap or take an L trying to criticize someone, and then they won't criticize the next person and the next person and the next person. I wouldn't want to be in a situation where the whole thing turns into like a toxic positivity type of type of thing. I don't think that's good for gaming. I don't think that's good for our industry or for the people that buy the games and enjoy the games in them, etc. etc. Uh, it's nice to be back. Really nice to be back. Before we go, Oshas, is there anything you'd like to discuss around gaming specifically that we haven't talked about today? I'm just curious.
Um, Jeez, that's putting me on the
Something that's
spot.
been on your mind. Something that's been on your mind. Well, I'm gonna be doing this every single like pod that we do,
Yeah.
because it's not just the news that we sit here and regurgitate.
Oof, like, yeah, nothing, like, there's probably is something, but nothing topical at the moment is coming to mind.
All right. So next week Thursday, I'm tasking you to come
Yeah.
ready and prepared,
No,
because
definitely.
it's not going to be, and it shouldn't be like a news topic or whatever. It can
Mm.
be a news topic, but it needs to be a specific angle that no one's looking at or no one's thinking about. Do you know what I mean?
Yep, I feel you.
Ty, I'm sure you have something for me. Go ahead.
Um, in relation to what's going on right now with the Xbox situation, all the firings, are are you guys of the opinion that this is good or this is bad
For who?
for Xbox? Xbox in general, the gamers, the consumers, is this good or bad?
No, we have to pick a specific angle. We have to pick a specific angle, because anything that happens on the planet, someone always profits. You just have to find who it is. That's why I was being specific about for who, because Xbox making these layoffs, this is excellent for shareholders. Wise old gamer was celebrating yesterday as Microsoft hit a record a record like valuation on the stock market. So shareholders super happy. Phil Spencer, Satya Nadella, like execs super happy. Like these layoffs are a gigantic dub for a lot of people. So that's why I was asking you to be specific about for who specifically. In my opinion, it's a big dub for those people I just mentioned.
Hmm. Anyone else?
I don't know, like,
Um,
oh, you were still asking, Luke.
No, I mean, anyone. Go ahead, fire away.
go ahead,
Um,
Moses. Go ahead.
I mean, like, of course, if for Microsoft, I'm sure this is a big because of all the stuff that they're trying to do. Yeah, for them it's a victory. And I think actually, you know what, for all the guys that are like leaving Microsoft, it's also in the short term it's painful, but I think for the long term it's good for the industry because a lot of them are not going to be willing to put their livelihoods at the
Mercy.
altar of, oh yeah, sorry, yes, that's actually the right word, the mercy of a big corporate again. And you know, all those expertise go into the double A indie space, and they sort of like, you know, start doing their own thing. We'll get more diversified products. So yeah, I think for the life, or the circle of life of, like, you know, of gaming, in the long run this is going to be good because a lot of these guys, they're like, that's one thing that feels right about, they're talented. A lot of them are, you know, they've got great work ethic, they've got great ideas. And I'm of a huge proponent of what Jeffy always says, that like, do you want to go design walls at Microsoft, insignificant walls on some level that, you know, no one is even going to look at, or do you want to take all your engineering, programming, animation, creative work,
Uh,
and make something of your own? And I think a lot of those guys have that opportunity now. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. I wish them all the best, but yeah, I think it's in the long run, they'll survive. They'll make it. I believe in that.
like what happened to me, right, Oshis?
Mm, that's a good example. I mean, in a positive way. I mean, like, you took a situation where, you know, for some people it would have been a net negative, and you said, "What? This is actually a wake up call for me to sort of like pursue the dreams that I wanted and actually put myself in a position where I live the life that I've always said I wanted to live, and, you know, double down on the things that are important to me."
Yeah, and not everyone gets that chance. A lot of
No.
people always have that dream,
Mm.
and then they wake up one day, they're 55 years old, and it's too late. So yeah, this is a big dub for a lot of people. Like I think there's more people making that are going to be happy with this outcome than people that are going to be upset.
Yeah, no, I'm not even focusing on even like the shareholders or whatever. They're not very important. I think for the for Xbox and their future goals, I think, you know, what they're doing is they're putting down a level of quality that needs to be adhered to. You know, I don't know if you guys just saw there, but it seems like the Elder Scrolls Online game um, was actually, you know, Phil Spencer liked it. It was fun. And it's a looter shooter, though, which I'm not interested in it, but it's a sci fi looter shooter. And, you know, Phil was having a good time. But apparently the game was then scheduled. So this is a team that, you know, they've had projections and they've missed it, missed it, missed it. And they have 300 people working on this game now. And apparently it's supposed to be releasing in 2028, was it? So that would have meant this game would have had a 10-year cycle. I don't know what world that's normal. A 10-year cycle, and it's a looter shooter. That just doesn't, I mean, like, the fact that it's a looter shooter already is already like some kind of flag, right? Because people are not really crazy about that. People don't really want this
Yeah,
kind of live service game. So you're already in trouble. So, you know, should Xbox have continue supporting the studio? I'm not the studio, the development of that game for another couple of years and then go to do the shooter, or should they have just said, you know what, we don't think this is gonna sell. Like, we're already over budget, but like millions. So let's just cut the losses now. I think now there's gonna be a really deep dive look at the quality of these teams, what they're doing. No more arty farty, no more you get to just take the money and just make what you want to make. We actually have to manage you well, which then leads us to Matt Booty. Does he need to be like, where is the
oof.
accountability here? Should he, you know, be the one to get in trouble as well? Because I've not let me not say defend it. I've laid out facts as to why booty is important to Xbox in the past. But to have these these studios have games in development for 7 years, 10 years. Okay, this one's we're gonna consider this because it's gonna be 10 years again. To have to shut down a studio that he was managing in the initiative that was making a game for 7 years, and then the vertical slice was apparently fake, all under your watch. I don't know if the pros or whatever he's brought to Xbox in the past is not worth it. And because Microsoft is a corporation, they don't care if you did great things. I mean, Peter Molyneux, he did the Xbox 360, right? And they'll get rid of you once they realize that, hey, listen, you're actually fucking up here. And that's how companies have been able to be successful. It's not about being emotional to the people who helped you get here. I mean, you can give them a good, nice, package when they leave, but you get rid of them when they're messing up. So I think Booty's in a situation where, like, as much as we look at Phil, I think the only person who
Can you call him Matt? Can you just call him Matt?
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. The only person who looks clean here, the only person who looks clean here is Sarah Bond. Everybody else seems like a suspect to me.
Sarah Bond. What does Sarah do?
She used to manage Game Pass.
I'm forgetting what. Oh, yo. She manages Game Pass. So Sarah Bond is the VIP. She's the MVP of Xbox because Game Pass. I am drowning. I had to I unfollow the Xbox Game Pass account because of the updates they kept putting up. It is crazy on Game Pass. The amount of it's not just the quantity of games, quality is insane. But yeah, sorry. Carry on.
No, that's it. I'm just thinking about the accountability
Ty.
with, Sarah does Game Pass, so I don't think I was even saying her name. The people who are, who's in everyone's mind right now is Phil Spencer and Mabudi.
Yeah, thank you for saying his full name because, geez, man. I am partial.
Be Matt
I'm
Cheeks.
Fart. Listen, it's a preference thing. Everyone is allowed to have a preference. All right. Good to hear. Bro. I'm very happy to be back. I'm very happy to be back. Like, I am so back. I am essentially the Republican Party. That's how back I am. I'm thinking about randomly just like doing random streams during the day in our time frame. Obviously, for Americans, it would be impossible for them to watch live. But yeah, that's how back I am. Richie says third party games on Game Pass was kind of weak before Sarah. You know what? I would disagree. I think third party games, from my personal experience on Game Pass, they were pretty strong, but they weren't frequent. You would get like a banger third party game every month, maybe two. And now it's like a banger third party game every week. At least the last time when I unfollowed Xbox Game Pass on Twitter, because it was messing with my psyche. You want to just play the game that's in front of you in your backlog, and then Game Pass is like, yeah, man, here's this banger just sitting there. It's just sitting there. You've got this fast internet. You can download it and you can play it right now, bro. It's just there. It's just there. So yeah, I would say it was fine before. Now it's just ridiculous. Ty, what do you think about Richie's comment here? Was Game Pass third party output better before or after Sarah Bond?
I think it was better. I should
Or was it weak?
I actually don't know, to be honest.
Sorry,
I can't remember. I can't answer that question. I
Oh.
actually don't know. Sorry.
Okay. So you don't think you don't remember whether it was weak or not? All right, that's fair enough. Oshus, was it weak before?
What before Sarah?
Yeah.
Um, uh, uh, Look, I'll say this then. I think she is actually made it more consistent. What I'll say is that you had patches like back in the day, like where you would have like good games and in 6 months will go. It was very similar to Xbox Gold. You'd have months where there were great games and you'd go
Yeah.
for long stretches without good games. She's made it far more consistent in terms of like delivering, you know, top titles, especially third party titles or smaller indie titles. It's now Game Pass is hit that stride that Phil Spencer always used to talk about like consistently offering value every single month. Yeah, no, she deserves
Week, bro.
her.
Every week.
Yeah, well, I suppose yeah, you can put it like that as well. But yeah, like she deserves her flowers for making the service much more consistent in terms of delivery.
Yeah. And you know what? I would also like to throw some flowers to Phil Spencer because as a former manager myself, I know that delegating is not easy. I'm sure that he got the final say, Phil Spencer, obviously. He got the final say over whether this could be a delegatable function or not. And at some point, he was like, you know what? Give it to Sarah, and and I trust her to deliver. It takes true leadership to delegate. So, although we're throwing all these tomatoes at Phil Spencer today, we or this week, we have to acknowledge the fact that it took balls to sit there and be like, all right, Sarah Bond is not going to be responsible for all that is Game Pass, and Game Pass is essentially Xbox at this point. So, yeah, I think that was impressive. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of another pod on Everything Plus Gaming on TSWS. Thank you so much for coming along with us on this journey. Make sure to spam the like button, smash the button, share it out. And if you're not watching this live, feel free to drop a comment. I will be checking comments on Saturday and responding. Fark, please reach out to me on Twit. We need to talk. I will also send you a DM just now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Ushers, please plug your channel. Tell people where they can find you and what you're up to,
Uh,
etc., etc.
I don't really have anything to plug. I exited the Xbox community. Well, not the community, but like the the management of the
They
Xbox.
found out that you were a fraud. They found out that you were a fraud. Tell the truth.
I handed in my Xbox jersey, my badge, my membership. So yeah, man, like so I'm on Twitter. That's where you will see me for now. I'll let you know if there's anything else popping off. I don't want to hype anything up.
Yeah.
That's it.
You're only good at like shitting on stuff. You don't hype up anything, Ushers. We know. We know. You just like
Uh,
crapping on stuff.
it's gonna change. I can almost guarantee. Don't worry. I'm gonna hype some things up in the future.
Okay.
Not now. Not yet.
As soon as you get over your ex, name the Xbox.
I'm good with that. We're done.
Ty, you're done, ne? Sizobona next week. Ty. Oh, Jack. Sorry. My bad. There's a couple of other comments here. Richie says also look Fire Emblem 7 on GBA. It has jiggle fit. Sir, sir, where's my print screen button? I need to save this for later. Richie, you are the MVP for this pod. All right, you are the real MVP. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. JX82 with the final super chat. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Says welcome back again, Luke. Missed these shows. Jax, You have no idea how much that fills my cold and rotting heart. You have no idea. Thank you so much. And I'm sure Ty and Oshus also missed you guys as well. Am I right, Ty?
Yeah.
Oshus?
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. This is like a pleasure, that we don't need like tissue for, but it's definitely a
And a privilege.
yes, and a privilege. People, these guys actually make time for us. That's crazy. That
Yeah.
is insane. They
Uh,
sit there and be like, yeah, okay, so today we're gonna listen to Loke and Oshus and Ty go at it about pressing buttons on screens. It's madness. It's absolute madness. And we thank you. Ty, plug your channel, tell people they can find you, etc.
Um, you guys can find me at Tayo Talks, TaykeTalks. Playing the altars right now. Really good game. Definitely check it out. Oh, and yeah, stop finding people on
I
Twitter. You
second
know,
that.
stop bitching at people. Stop going to jazz. Stop going to Paris. Stop going to like, just stop being happy that people have lost their jobs. Like, go get a life. Just go get a fucking life.
Oshus,
yo.
Oshus, Oshus, let's go pop some champagne after this. Let's go pop some champagne because motherfuckers are gonna have to put the fries in the bag. Let's go. Yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate y'all. And was this look how to not find Oshus asking for a friend?
Who is
There's
it?
a way. There is a way.
That
Fine.
can
There's
only
a
be
way.
lazy.
Again,
Oh fuck the
again,
fuck
thank you guys for watching. Thank you for commenting and being with us here for 2 hours and 30 minutes. We really do appreciate it. Make sure, if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell. Tomorrow, me, Ham Solo, Cozy Beluga, Matt Likes Games, and maybe a guest will be, oh yeah, Mental 99 as well, will be kicking it on bullsitting with the whole crew once again. Once again, everyone is going to be back tomorrow. Y'all make sure to come through. Have a good one. Goodbye.